Twitch says title is invalid. Hi, everyone. Oh, sorry about that. GameHounds podcast. Hi. We're trying to get no, not GameHounds News. We're trying to get the Twitch to allow us to for some.
Why are you putting so many curse words in the Twitch title?
Um, I'm testing out a theory. We get about double the views if we have a swear word in the title. I went back and looked just, when we were on the plane, and I was like, I'll look at the stats. And then I started looking at the stats and was like, oh, we get significantly more downloads of the podcast, the actual audio podcast, if we have a swear word. So let's see if we can actually get this to go. Twitch says the title is invalid. Ugh. Okay,
I mean,
trying again.
It's probably like the ampersand, right? The special characters it doesn't like. You need to just put like F-K.
All right. I've saved the changes. Trying to go live on Twitch. Still says it's invalid. Okay, we're just going to go.
Just say F it. If F it doesn't even work, then I don't know what it would be.
Oh, because I keep changing the wrong one. Shoot. Go live. No. Sorry, edit. No,
I also didn't compensate for user error.
Yeah.
Did you turn it off and turn it back on again?
Okay. F, we're tired. Save changes. And go live. Apparently that did it. I had to say F or tired instead of fuck, because Twitch apparently has turned prudish. The platform known for girls in swimming pool chat channels.
To be fair, I think that meta has long since passed.
Yeah, I think it's a little late for Twitch to go family friendly. Anyway, so we're live. Hi everyone on Twitch. Hi everyone in the chat room elsewhere. Yes, thank you for the Patreon. We are 100% Patreon funded. If you would like to assist us in paying for this, please let us know. We would appreciate it. The way you do that is by going to patreon.com/GameHounds. $1 a month is all we ask. It does help offset the costs. So we're back from PAX. Have you gotten any sleep?
Oh yeah, I've gotten a ton of sleep. I've had a good series of days. I didn't even get the PAX plague.
I didn't get the PAX plague.
I'm not sick. That's awesome. No, I've had a good time coming back. It is unfortunate though that I had to come back and then get right to work. I needed a vacation from the vacation.
Yeah, that is the downside of PAX. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's so great that you're going to PAX." It's like, yeah, it's great, but
I need the next week off too.
Yeah, you're when you come back from PAX, you are absolutely exhausted because you've been on your feet for 15 hours a day, 13 hours a day. You're totally overstimulated, total sensory overload.
But I liked this PAX a lot.
Oh, this PAX was way more chill than any PAX ever.
It was way less of that than you make it sound.
Yeah.
Past PAXs have been way bigger, way louder, way more crowded. This one was not. This one struck a nice balance between being big and having a lot to see and being sparse enough that we could actually walk around.
Yeah, and have a conversation with each other without having to yell.
Have a conversation and also stumble across some units that don't have people playing it and just sit down.
Yeah, there were a lot of games like that weren't necessarily micro small games. I was absolutely exhausted because I did not sleep well. So when I came home, I slept a lot for the first 2 days. But I am back now, and I have been playing a lot of the infamous Steam Deck. First, let's start the show, and then we'll talk about the Steam Deck and the games that I've been playing on it. Does that sound like a plan?
Yes. Sorry, I've
Okay,
got something in my eye. So
that's all right. I knew. I could figure.
yeah.
I could see that you had something going. All right, so let's start the game show.
This podcast discusses video games, pop culture, and technology, and these podcasters have big, fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom said to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 792. We are recording on Sunday, September 7th, 2025. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick, who still has something in his eye. Do you want to go
I'll get it eventually.
Okay, all right. So, also, I did want to remind you all, my dear, dear, lovely friends, we have a swag bag to give away, and it is going to be given away today. And I wanted to give you, if you are in the chat room and you haven't already entered, you might want to do it now. So to enter, you go to the PAX swag bag channel in the Discord. Here is the link. All you have to do is say hi. Just say hi in the chat. And your name will be added to the wheel. We have not very many people on the wheel. So you have a very, very good chance of winning if you have not already entered. Hey, bartender, say, how are you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Join the chat. You can be the
join
fifth person.
Yeah, we've only got 4 people. I think it's because there weren't that many people watching on our
it's
last
also
night, and
it
we
could
were
also
doing it
be
very late.
it could also be because like the nicest thing in it is a vinyl, and if you don't have a record player, like neither of us do,
Nah. People want bumper stickers if they don't have a car. People will want vinyl if they don't have an record player.
just to show it off.
So it is a very cool swag bag with a lot of stuff that I'm gonna regret giving away. Let's just say there was the vinyl from, what was the name of the game? Fresh Tracks?
Yes.
Great music. I want that soundtrack. There was Steam keys. There was that diorama from Ether and Iron. There's stickers. There's the Borderlands 4
Yeah,
mask. Do you want to donate your mask too? We could actually do 2 masks or give a second mask away as a second place.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm never gonna wear that mask.
Yeah, I've got both of them. So yeah, Borderlands 4 mask. What else was in it?
A bunch of pins, a water bottle.
Oh, that limited edition key from the game. So not the limited edition key, limited edition coin.
Yeah, for Time Crisis.
First time commenter, my ass, Corey Wallace. He wrote first time commenter, long time listener. No, you're not.
Well, welcome to the show. Glad you could comment. Thank you.
AC Red said I might have entered for Steam keys, but my gaming habits say I'm not likely to play anytime soon.
Yeah,
join the club. You should still enter, AC Wraith. The glass. Well, actually, he says it's a glass diorama. AC Ray says that I thought the glass diorama is cool. Yeah, it's very cool. It's not glass. It's acrylic.
Like same practical difference.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like when you hold it and you look at it, you're like, oh yeah, glass diorama.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So if you haven't entered, just go into the Discord. Let me put that back up on the banner so that you could see it. Go ahead and just go in now and enter. We're going to talk about what we played and then probably give away the bag after that, because we don't want to like make y'all wait for 2 hours while we talk about news, because we're all friends here. We're nice. So I have played a lot of the Steam Deck. A lot of the Steam Deck. Not just when I was
The fine print says employees are exempt from winning prizes.
No, he's not an employee. He is a volunteer. He wins. He gets all the good stuff too.
Does that mean I can't put my name in
You
the?
no, you cannot.
Ah,
You are an employee.
yeah.
Um,
He also says no hats this time around. That's what I got the most use out of from the bags you gave me.
yeah,
don't give
no,
away a
there
lot
were
of
no hats.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, surprisingly. The
Okay,
Steam Deck I have been
Yes.
playing a
Is it the
lot.
same game you were playing at PAX?
It was the same game I was playing at PAX, which was Be My Horde, and also another game. So I'll talk about
Yeah, because
the
I
other
remember
game.
you pretty much beating the early access version of Be My Horde in the
Here's the
airport
thing.
while we were waiting to fly back.
Well, I hadn't beat the kingdom level. So there's multiple levels. There's kingdom level and there's hell level. And kingdom has a normal and hard, and hell has a normal and hard. Hell has not been unlocked because it's still in early access. The kingdom normal has been unlocked, which is what I played, and the kingdom hard was unlocked, and I was going to play it. I just wanted to max out my character before I played it. Well, I got home and I played it one more time on normal level.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, I got stuff to do. I'll come back to it later. I went back to it the next morning and all my progress had disappeared. I was back to level 1. So I had to start all over again. So that's
Why?
where I am.
Is that
I don't know.
Is it a bug? Was it an update that wiped everything?
I don't know if it was an update that wiped everything. I don't know if it was a bug. I don't know if it was something to do with running out of battery. I'd run out of battery mid-game before, never had a problem. I don't know if this was the problem, but anyway. So
Yeah, that's a major issue. That's like when I lost credit in Wu Chain and I
mhm.
only got it back because the backup was restored.
Yeah. So I didn't
Let's
that
see.
really
I'm trying
sucked.
to
I was
find.
very unhappy about that. But it is what it is. It's just the way things are. Um oh, no, cancel. I meant, sorry, cancel. I am trying to unshare this. So I want to bring up Be My Horde since, we've talked about it, but we really haven't put it on the screen so that you can see it. It's still a good game. I'm still enjoying it, even though I'm playing it over again. I'm going to be over talking about it. Still enjoying it. In addition, Chris wanted me to A/B the Rogue Ally versus the Steam Deck. And since
Okay.
I played more Be My Horde on the Steam Deck than any other game,
Mhm.
and I knew it was optimized for the Steam Deck, which would be, in theory, optimized for the Rogue Ally, I bought it for him and gave it to him on his Steam account and then downloaded on his Rogue Ally and also been playing it on his Ally as well. So I'm starting over from zero on that one as well.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, even though I'm playing it again, I'm still really enjoying it because I'm enjoying tricking out all of the perks to see which ones are best. A lot of perks I didn't ever take, and then because I was doing it over again, I decided to take them, and I ended up being really way more powerful than I thought they were.
That's always an awesome feeling when you branch out from your comfort zone and you
Mhm.
realize, oh, this actually works great.
Yeah, I'm not playing it exactly the same guy. So,
Great. Buckender says Twitch was choppy and laggy. Couldn't hear what you said about the giveaway. We'll be doing the giveaway after we talk about the games we've been playing. Go to our Discord and say hi in the PAX. Was it PAX
no,
Stuff channel?
no, yeah, PAX swag bag. If
PAX
that
Swag
link
Bag
right
channel.
there that is on screen, that will take you directly to the PAX swag bag channel. And go ahead and join our Discord as well, because it's a fun place to be. We're lots of people talking and sharing on there. So yeah, Be My Horde, still great, still enjoying it. Playing it on the Rogue Ally. The Rogue Ally is, here's my definitive Rogue versus Steam Deck analysis, having played both games on it. The Rogue Ally is lighter. The Steam Deck fits more comfortably in your hand.
Okay.
They play about the same. They look about the same. Maybe the Rogue Ally looks a little bit better. Not much, but it's, you wouldn't notice that the Steam Deck looks slightly worse until you put them side by side.
Yeah.
Certainly the Steam Deck is fine. The Rogue Ally sounds a lot better because it has 2 speakers on the front projecting forward. So it's actually stereo.
Okay.
Um, so were I to but to play Steam games, the Steam Deck is so much easier to use because you load it up and there's Steam. The
I
Rogue
imagine
Ally,
so. Yeah.
it's a PC, so it's got windows on it. You've got to go through all of the windows, and then you have to load the Valve or Steam, and you essentially go through it as if you were signing on to a PC.
Well,
Whereas the
I've
Steam
got it.
Deck, you turn it on and bam, it's right there.
Wait, when his Ally loads, does it load into the desktop?
Yes.
I'm sorry, but Chris is a fucking psychopath.
Why do you say that?
Because you can have it load into Rogue's like proprietary UI called Armor Crate. And Armor Crate
Okay.
basically loads into a menu. It's got 2 hubs. One
Mhm.
is platform. So like you load it up and it loads to the platform page. And I can say I want to turn on Steam, I want to turn on GOG, I want to turn on Xbox. Or you could tab over and it will just show you a list of all the games you have installed and where. It'll just show you these are all the games installed on Steam. These are all the games installed from GOG, from Xbox. And then you choose one and it automatically launches that installer and then launches the game. So I don't see the desktop unless I specifically swipe to see the desktop. To load into the desktop on
I
a
had to put
handheld
I had to put in his pin
is
to get in.
insane.
I had to put in his Windows pin to get into the
Yeah,
room.
I had it with the fingerprint.
Yeah.
And I will say what was nice is that I forget something with the settings when you put it to sleep, you put it to like actual sleep. So when I hit the button to turn it off, it goes into sleep mode. But I can do that mid game.
Yeah.
And so I've been playing Hollow Knight on the Rogue Ally. I've had that game running nonstop on the Ally, just turning the Ally off, turning it on, and when it turns on, it's right at that pause screen. And I
Yep.
don't think it has obliterated my playtime number because I think when I say you know, turn off, it stops recording time. I'm curious though. I want to check that. Oh yeah, 105 minutes? Is that all? That can't be all. That's not true. Well, clearly it's not recording a lot of the time because I
Right.
played for way more than 105 minutes.
Yeah, the
Anyways,
anyway, bottom line, 6 and 1/2 dozen of the other.
what
I
was
mean,
that? What?
ultimately 6 and
Oh.
1/2 dozen of the other. Ultimately, the Steam Deck is fine. What is the Rogue Ally more expensive than the Steam Deck?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes
Especially
sense.
depending on what you get. Because I think the low end are about the same, but the higher end, the Ally is much higher.
Yeah, and I have the lowest end Steam Deck. I'm sure Chris's Rogue Ally is the highest end Rogue Ally. So it's kind of an unfair comparison.
Yeah,
But yeah,
if you're testing that, you want to test it with something like Night Rain or Elden
yeah,
Ring, right? How does it deal with souped up graphics? Because when I was playing Night Rain on my Ally, I could play it with everything maxed, but it was definitely really choppy. I had to go in there, turn it to like 720p, like configure with the graphical settings a bit to
knock
get
it
it
down a little.
to run nice and smooth. Same with when I was testing Baldur's Gate 3. I had to like lower it down a little bit in order to get it moving at a pretty nice rate. But that's what you get when you have a handheld, right? I can't run the PC games on ultra when I'm holding it like this.
HD on 4K. Yeah, yeah. And that makes sense. I'm yeah, I mean, I'm certainly
Which
happy with my Steam Deck. It did not make me less happy with my Steam Deck. Honestly,
okay, that's
and this
good.
is just me. I would rather have it a little bit heavier and fit in my hand way more comfortably than having that extra little bit of graphics. Now that I
Yeah,
realize this
I've
is just me, but I value comfort, and the comfort of that Steam Deck sits in your hand so nicely compared to the Rogue Ally.
so I'm curious because the Steam Deck has those two touchpads. Did those not get in your way as you were using it?
Mm-mm, never once.
Okay.
Never once.
Because
So,
that's been my fear looking at pictures of it, is like you've got the thumbsticks at the top and the touchpads kind of underneath it. And so it
yeah,
feels like as you're working the touchpads, you could move the as you're working the sticks, you could move the touchpad
no,
accidentally.
never once did I have that problem. In fact, that's but thinking about it, it's like, yeah, that seems like it would be a problem, but it never occurred to me because I've never had
Okay,
that
yeah.
problem. The I should have let you play the Steam Deck for an evening. Just let you have it. Except I
I
was too busy
know, but
playing Be
you were
My
too
Horde.
busy playing it. You're so selfish. So selfish. I kept asking Edie, "Can I please play the Steam Deck?" And you're like, "No, Nick. Eat your
Go sit
gruel and
down.
shut up."
Can I have some more? Uh, I did play a lot of Be My Horde. We've talked about it a lot. Still
Mhm.
a very good game. It well worth the $6 for the early access. I'm very much looking forward to the full game. If you haven't wishlisted Be My Horde, I highly recommend you trying it out. And I actually played it at work as well, and it was just as fun at work on my PC. The other game that I played, which I didn't really want to play Be My Horde while I was in the airport because we had to sit there for a long time. I'm like, I'm kind of bored of Be My Horde. Let's play something else. And I played this game called Is This Seat Taken, which is a logic game. And I should have already had this up. Uh, where you are uh you're given these little characters that are essentially like shapes, and you have to figure out how to place people. Oh, hold on. You have to place people in the sorry. Like, you'll have a bus and you'll have like 10 of these little people, and each of them has a different condition. Like, I can only sit facing forward in the direction of the bus. I don't like uh I don't like bad smells. Somebody else will be, I didn't take a shower this morning. Well, you can't put someone that likes bad smells anywhere near the person that takes a bad shower. I'm playing loud music. And then somebody else, it's like, I don't like loud music. I need to be sitting next to my backpack. So the backpack that person has to take 2 seats. I need to sit with my mom, with my parent. So they have to sit together. But the parent wants to talk to someone. So you have to put him next to someone who wants to talk. It becomes a situation where you end up moving people around and trying to get them to everybody to be happy. And there is a little bit of a story that goes with it. Let me see if I can actually share my screen. Hold on. You can
Yeah,
see what it looks
I was
like.
just looking at a video of this. This is a very, very cute game.
Yeah. Um, it's very simple, very low effort, but it's nice because it's a great just chill
Thank
game,
you.
sitting in an airport, hanging out. Oh, hey, bartender. Thank you so much for subscribing on Patreon. Yeah, it really, 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 really helps. So thank you. Um, so yeah, you starts easy. It gets harder as you go along. There is a little bit of a story that goes with it of this person or this character who looks like a movie star and then ends up meeting that movie star, and they become friends and they go traveling all over the world together. It's a really, really fun little story, but honestly, the story is not that big a deal. I'm going to move the video forward so that you can see when it gets more complicated. It begins with just 3 people in the back seat of a taxi. Then it gets way more complicated. Why are you not loading? There we go. Why are you not loading? There we go. It gets way more complicated when you're talking about buses and trains and music festivals
And
and
benches.
benches and people who want to dance and who don't want to dance. It ends up being something where you're just like, I know I can win this, but how do I get all of these people? So you pick people up and move them around and get them so everybody's happy. And that gets you all the stars. And then you can move on. You can move on if you don't get all the stars. That's fine. But you kind of do want to get all the stars. And it's just a great little brain teaser that really consumes time. Like we had to sit at the airport for what? 5 hours waiting for the plane, more than 5 hours, 6 hours. And I played this game almost the entire time, and that 6 hours went so fast for me. Like, it disappeared almost instantly because I was so, like, my brain was so working hard on this game. My brain was working hard, but it didn't tire me out. I just always wanted to do one more level, one more level.
Yeah, I like that when you put someone down and all the conditions are not satisfied, they make a little frowny face.
Right.
So you can very easily see, okay, who's happy and who's not.
Yeah, you saw somebody in this last one that somebody wasn't happy, so he didn't get all the full ones. But if you want to get all the full ones, you really do have to work at getting people in the right spot. There's other things you can change the environment in this particular level that if you were listening to the podcast, you can't see it. But the level is a music festival, and there's benches, and then there's some standing spaces for people dancing, and then there's some blankets where people are sitting, and there's 3 lights. And you can actually change the lights being on or off. And if you change the lights being on or off, it makes the moths go to another light. And many of these people don't like bugs. So sometimes you have to move to change the light, to move it to a different light because you need 4 people. There's only one place that you can put 4 people together and they all want to be together. Well, there's only one blanket that allows for 4 people to be there. So you know they have to be there. And if the light next to that one is on and there's bugs, you're screwed. You have to change the light. And I struggled with this level because I did not realize that if you click on the light, it turns the lights on and off and then it makes the bugs move. There's another one that I'm struggling with right now. It's a train with two different air conditioners. So some people are too hot, they want to be under the air conditioner. Some people are too cold or sensitive to cold, so they don't want to be under the air conditioner. Some people don't care either way, but they all have other conditions that make it even more challenging. And it's 2 air conditioners, so you're not really quite sure, do I want both of them on or do I want only one of them on, and which one do I want on? It becomes a, bunch of like moving puzzle pieces of trying stuff out and trying to figure it out. It's a total brain teaser. It's totally simple. I think this game is a little expensive. I think I paid more than 10 for it. I think this game is a little expensive for that. I would wait until it goes on sale. I would wish list this and wait for it on sale. I've paid full price because I just wanted to play something at the airport. I think it was like $14. It's not a $14 game. It's very long, but it's not a $14 game. I say this is a set $5 to $7 game.
I mean, no, that seems too cheap depending on how long it is. Like
It's long.
If you get more than like a couple hours out of a game, that right there is worth more than $5.
I'll look at here's the video. And video,
this is $9.99 on Steam.
This is the full playthrough, and the full playthrough playing straight through is 2 hours and 30 minutes.
AC Rate says $9.99.
Okay, $9.99. All right, $10. I would say
that seems perfectly appropriate.
It's fine, but it would be better if it went on sale. I would wait for it to go on sale. Or, if you're just looking for a time waster that you can play and just leave at any time. It's not timed. There's the levels are not very long. You could just kind of pop in, pop out, work on it a little bit, walk away, come back, work on it a little bit more, walk away if you want to. That's just what I did at the airport. this is exactly that kind of game. So I think this is a very, very good game, especially if you like logic puzzles like this.
Cool.
Yeah. So those were the two games I played.
I played basically the whole time I was at PAX Hollow Knight, and not Silk Song, mind you.
Oh my
Which
god. Yeah, it's
I tried to put that up. Oh my god. Okay, you put it up.
I'm putting it up.
Yeah, not Silk Song, because I tried Hollow Knight years and years ago and like bounced off of it hard. And
Yeah,
so
I
with all
recall
the,
you didn't like it very much.
no, and so with all the hubbub around Silk Song, I thought, you know what? I've got the handheld. It can play Steam games. Um, I'm gonna be like on a plane for a solid amount of time. It's a 2-hour flight, and like that's that there and back, and playing it at the airport. Like that should give me time to sink into it. Um, and I think it was good that I had that time, because what I don't like about it, what I didn't like about it initially, I still don't like about it.
Mhm.
And that's that it's so slow to begin. Like, so the first time I played it, I bounced off of it before I got the dash ability,
Mhm.
which to someone who plays it knows that that's kind of the first big boss that you play, that you get the dash ability. But there was something about the level design. Getting around was just a pain in the ass. And I just kind of gave up, because I thought, like, I can't double jump, I can't dash, my movement is so limited. And my ability, my move set, navigating around the world is such a pain in the ass that I just didn't want to have to go through all of it. That remained true. The game is so slow to dole out basic upgrades for this type of game, whether you call it a Metroidvania game or a Souls-like game. By either standard, uh, it is very chintzy on like the upgrades. It takes a long time to get a dash, a long time to get a double jump, a long time to get a wall jump. Like, just basic navigational tools. It takes 15 hours or so in order to unlock them in this game. And I found that really, really annoying. Well, I kept playing it, especially on the way there, on the way to Seattle. I would play it thinking, God, this is so annoying. Getting around is such a pain in the ass. Like, the combat is okay, it feels good, but God, this world is just such a, like I said, such a pain in the ass in every regard. Eventually, this is where like sequestering myself with the game and forcing myself to play it, like not having alternatives helped. Um, Eventually you do get those abilities. I do get the double jump. I do get the dash. I do get a stronger sword. And once that happens, like that, all those what I would consider early game upgrades extend to like half the game. So I've still got like another 20 hours left in the game. And I've already been playing for like 10 hours. Let me think, like 2 hours there and back. We were in the airport for like 4 hours. So yeah, like that's at least 8 hours. Then maybe like a little bit here and there at night. Like I've at least put 10 hours into the game. And I
Mhm.
feel like I've got 20 or so left. And like now I just feel that I've gotten all of the upgrades. So navigation is still a bit of a pain, because I think the checkpoints are really far between the fast travel points. This is something that people complained about with Prince of Persia and the Lost Crown earlier this year, which is that getting around the world was difficult because the fast travel checkpoints were so few and far between. If I wanted to get to that point over there, I had to run all the way to a fast travel point, take that to a different fast travel point, then run all the way to my destination. And there's just so much backtracking. And that is absolutely true for this game. Prince of Persia at least patched in more fast travel points.
Well,
Hollow
here's the
Knight,
thing,
in
is
all
it
the years it's been out, has not.
did people complain about the lack of fast travel points in Hollow Knight?
I don't know. Like, this game came out years ago. I wasn't paying super close attention to the Hollow Knight discourse during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
But
I
it
think
seems
I'm
like if they
gonna fight
didn't,
this
that seems a
guy.
bit of a double standard, that you complain about it for Prince of Persia, but you didn't complain about it for this.
I mean, and I think they're part of it is Prince of Persia came out earlier this year. Hollow Knight came out 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yes, there may be a double standard, but also, look, times have changed.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons why I was interested in Silksong, because I feel like this could be the modern day Team Cherry could be the next From Software, in that
Mm-hmm.
they made a cult. Granted, Demon Souls was not From Software's first game, but it was the game that kind of put them on the map. And it was, I guess, no, Armored Core would have done that. But, Demon Souls was a weird, interesting game. I think GameSpot gave it their game of the year, but no one else did. Like, it was a weird cult hit. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
until Dark Souls came out that From Software like kind of became that they found their shtick, and that's when people started taking notice of them.
Mm-hmm.
And Dark Souls is actually way more approachable than Demon Souls. And I feel like Hollow Knight might be on a similar track, that Team Cherry made Hollow Knight, which is like a good game, but feels like it makes a lot of just simple user player friendliness errors. Just a lot of little things that you could say, oh, that's intentional. They want to push back on the player. They want there to be some um I forget the word that people always use. Just a little bit of pushback, right? It doesn't want to be uh, super friendly to you. It wants to test you. Um, but there's a difference between like testing your patience and testing your skills. And I think the navigation in Hollow Knight tests my patience more than it tests my skills. But I also thought the same thing about Demon Souls. Like,
Mm-hmm.
honestly, Dark Souls better than Demon Souls in almost every regard. So I want to play enough of Hollow Knight to like get a sense of how it is, and then I want to read about what Silksong is like, because I wonder if is Silksong Team Cherry doubling down on the stuff that I didn't like about Hollow Knight, or are they going to take the Hollow Knight formula and refine it into something much more better and I don't know, elevated, like from Demon Souls to Dark Souls? Because if that's the case, then from Demon Souls to Dark Souls to Sekiro to Bloodborne to Elden Ring, only suggests really great things from there. But I don't know if Team Cherry is going in that direction. But I want to find out. And to its credit, I'm back home. Hell is Us is out. Chronos of the New Dawn is out. Those are both games I've been looking forward to for a while. Whenever I sit down on the couch, I have my Rogue Ally next to me, and I'm like, well, you know what? I'm just gonna boot it up, play Hollow Knight for like a couple minutes, and then it's 3 hours later. I'm like,
Right.
God damn it. Okay, fine. So I am into the game. And for as much as I didn't like the early game, and for as frustrating, not like and I say this as someone who enjoys a game that pushes back on a little bit, something that isn't entirely player friendly in the way that a lot of From Software games are, in the way that Dragon's Dogma is. I like a bit of pushback. I don't like a game to be super player friendly. But as I said, I think the navigation is filled with more things that test my patience than test my skill. That is just a lot of unnecessary backtracking more than it is like, hey, this is a good test. This is a good challenge. I feel like my
Mm-hmm.
time is wasted more than my time is challenged. But after having got over that hump, and with navigation being so much easier, that is less of an issue. I think the combat has opened up in some really interesting ways. I think the world opened up in really interesting ways. And I'm interested to see now where the game goes, now that I'm no longer cursing it, every 5 minutes going, man, fuck you, making me backtrack all this way. Screw you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this is 100% your kind of game. I don't do Metroidvania games, as you learned when I tried to do a Metroidvania game at PAX. When you're like, "Oh my god, can you not play that?" I'm like, "No, that's what
Oh
I've been
yeah.
saying. I
Oh, is
want
that
like you should try
Volunteer?
this. Should I really? Okay.
I thought like a 2D game would be simpler than a 3D game.
Why would a 2D game be simpler than a 3D game? It's a
It's
Metroidvania
one
game.
whole less dimension.
No. In fact, 2D games I have more problems with because they're usually Metroidvania platformers, and I can't do platformers because I missed the whole platforming generation. I went from like Activision or Intellivision and Atari to PlayStation. I missed the Nintendo thing, so I never learned how to do a Metroidvania game. Never learned how to do a platformer. So yeah, not good at them. Don't like them. Don't like them a bit. So this is 100% your kind of game, and I love watching others play them though. So I will give credit where credit's due. They look like so much fun, but yeah, they're just not for me.
Yeah.
But holy crap, are
it's-
people losing their mind for Silk Song?
Well,
Do
it's
you know that there had 500,000 concurrent players playing it this week?
yeah, on Steam. On that, I think that was PC only too.
Yeah, that's insane. So
It's really interesting because
are you gonna? By the way, are you
I
gonna play Silk Song now?
I mean I would like to get through Hollow Knight. I also really want to play Hell is Us and Chronos.
Uh-huh.
And then maybe I'll pick up Silk Song. Or
Mhm.
maybe I'll pick up Silk Song and like not play it for 6 months, which is what I typically do with the game. I'll buy it out because it's like, oh, it's a new game. I'm totally gonna play this. Then I won't play it for 6 months and go, oh, you know what? I should play that game I bought 6 months ago. That will probably be the case. I will probably like go through Hollow Knight, go through Chronos and Hell is Us, and then look at Hollow Knight, look at Silk Song, like during a November sale or something.
Yeah. All right. So Hollow Knight, that about covers that.
Well, it's interesting because this game has become such a big thing. And it's funny because I like any big thing, if you come to it after the fact, it's like, I don't know why this thing became the big thing. Why Hollow Knight and not any of the other roguelikes that came out? And I think it probably helped because of the pandemic. I believe Hollow Knight release date, I think it came out 2017. So like
Mhm.
it had been out for quite a while before the pandemic.
Right.
But I think with the pandemic, that's when a lot of people picked it up and had time to dig into it, right? They had time to not be bothered by the really slow start. And like I said, I think this is kind of a generational thing. I think this is the next generation Demon Souls. Like
Mhm.
a game that, look, is really cool, does a lot of interesting ideas. It pushes back on the player in a lot of interesting ways, but it's also like kind of frustrating as hell. And like, is it a good game? Yes. Could it be better? Absolutely. From Software made better versions of Demon Souls in the subsequent years. So
Right.
yeah, it's funny to me to like see the cycles of gaming history begin to repeat themselves. When I was your age, I remember Demon Souls coming out. I remember not enjoying the cool thing, not enjoying the weird new thing when it was weird and new.
Mhm. Yeah. All right. So any other games that you played?
Oh, what else was I playing? What else did I try to play? I thought I did something. Was it something on my phone? Oh, Vampire Survivors.
Oh, that's right. You
Speaking
played that at the airport.
Speaking of another super popular game that I think is highly overrated, um, yeah, I think Vampire Survivors is actually kind of annoying. I can like Hollow Knight. I think it would be better if it wasn't so slow going in the beginning. Uh, when you start, you have no abilities and you have so few things that you can do that you just have to go through run after run after run. And I know that that's the rogue light process, but I just get so bored playing the same areas over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And Vampire Survivors is such a perfect example of that flaw because I have to play that same first level so many times. And it's not even the number of times. Like I think I played 10 rounds of it, uh, which is not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but like when you're in it and you're playing that same level 10 times in a row and you're just getting slightly better upgrades and I'm looking at the upgrade path. I'm looking at the trees, and I can see what abilities I want and I realize I just have to grind for money. I just have to play this game, grind for money, buy some more upgrades and just keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, that's
I,
sort of what Be My Horde is because you cannot possibly win the first time. You have to grind out and get upgrades so that you get yourself to a point where you can win. And then once you get the upgrades, then it's easy, and then you go to the next like more higher level of difficulty.
and maybe I hope in Be My Horde that loop is much tighter.
Oh,
I
it's a
felt
very
like
small loop.
okay, because I feel like in Vampire Survivors that loop is too wide. It takes too long. Even after going through those 10 rounds and upgrading my character like a fair amount of times, I didn't really feel like I was surviving any better during the hordes. And
Yeah,
even
no, you
and
have
even when I
instant.
was, but even when I was surviving a little better, I thought, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to survive a little bit better, get some more gold so that I can come do this same thing again. And it was just realizing that grind. I didn't enjoy that grind. I just don't enjoy the game enough to commit to a grind of that degree.
Yeah. Yeah, and I really enjoy Be My Horde, and instantly after the first game, you notice when you do your first upgrade, it's a little easier. It's like you do a little better, like noticeably better. And then after you do the second set of upgrades, you definitely notice you're doing a lot better. After you get the third and fourth one, you're like, okay, I'm actually getting to the boss now. And then after the fifth or sixth upgrade, then you're like, okay, now I can beat the boss and I can beat him easily. So it's a very short ramp to getting so that you are powered enough to be able to survive.
Yeah. And to Hollow Knight's credit, it took me a long time to find a way to upgrade my weapon, but once I did, that upgrade did feel substantial.
Right.
I could feel, oh, this enemy that once took 3 hits takes 2 hits. When I upgraded it again, this enemy now takes 1 hit. It's like, oh, I can feel it. There's a substantial difference. And I think you need that.
Hmm. And something
It's
that Be My Horde does is that as you go along and as you take subsequent upgrades, like there's multiple different upgrades that you can do, like your health, your movement speed, the radius of your casting, where you can like summon from dead bodies,
mhm.
summon zombies, or necromance areas. Those all do it. But as you go into further and further upgrades of each of those, the big one for me is how many you can raise at once. Is it you start out with one, you have to buy a little upgrade, you can get two. Buy a little upgrade, you can get five. Buy a little upgrade, you get eight. Buy a little upgrade, now it's an instantaneous summon instead of having to wait and hold the button down. When you hit that, it's like just instead of baby steps getting better and better, it is a leap forward. All of a sudden, it's like, oh yeah, now I'm feeling like I'm starting to get powerful. And I don't know if Vampire Survivors does that the early upgrades don't really do much, but the later upgrades and the more that you get, you feel more and more powerful as you go along. It's kind of the opposite of XP. Like normally the XP, when you get XP, it takes a little bit of XP to get to your next level, a little more to get to your next level. It gets harder and harder to get higher levels, harder and harder to upgrade as you go along in the game. In this case, it gets easier and easier to upgrade the longer. You get actually a bigger bonus the farther in. So you start to feel an acceleration of your improvement, acceleration of your power. And that's where you start feeling like you start to crave it. Like, I got to play it one more time because I need to kick ass now. I'm starting to feel like I can really kick ass. And I know if I do one more upgrade, I'm going to be unstoppable. That keeps me wanting to play. If it had been the opposite of like a grind where you get to the more upgrades you do, the less
slower it gets.
Yeah, the slower the actual upgrade is, it wouldn't make me feel like propelling. It would be actually feeling like you're pushing back on me to not want to continue on because
that's
now
the
it's getting
problem
hard.
with battle passes, right? Is like, oh, you play for a couple hours, you get a lot of the early levels, and you're like, oh yeah, this is fun. And then because it takes progressively more XP to get to that next rank, that dopamine rush, that level up slows down significantly.
It slows down. Yeah, this is the opposite. The dopamine rush gets bigger and bigger because you're feeling more of an upgrade, significantly bigger. And you're like, oh, Brigid, I want more. You want more upgrades? Give them to me.
So AC Wraith says, I took just Brotato instead of Vampire Survivors for its lack of meta progression nonsense. It's more of a single screen game, though.
Yeah, in
we're
fact,
looking at Brotato.
I bought Brotato.
Oh, yeah?
And I bought Brotato and I bought Is the Seat Taken? And I'm like, all right, I'll just play Is the Seat Taken for a little while and then I'll go to Brotato. And I end up playing Is the Seat Taken the whole time. So I've got Brotato on my Steam Deck, which I'm intending on playing. But man, I'm having so much fun with Be My Horde and Is the Seat Taken that I'm gonna wait until I'm like until I'm bored with Be My Horde before I jump into Brotato.
Okay. ACS also says, grind sucks, we agree. Welcome to the dark side. But see, the difference between us, like, we're not allies in this fight because I like progression and I hate roguelites that don't give me any progression because I hate restarting from zero. I want progression, but I don't want grind.
Yeah.
I want progression that gives me I want to actually progress.
Right.
Which is why
Well, that's what a grind is. A grind is I'm playing and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. A progression is I'm playing and I feel like I'm getting somewhere.
And I think that's why the whole Souls-like genre kind of resonated with me as much as I did once I finally got into it, because I feel like it captures the loop of a roguelike within a much bigger game that's constantly giving you new things. Like, I think about Dark Souls and the progression from one bonfire to another. You start at one checkpoint and you go out into the world and you fight a whole bunch of hard enemies, you get your butt kicked, but you respawn, you try it again, and you do that roguelike loop of start over, go through this area, learn the enemy patterns, learn the environment, repeat until you beat a boss. And then you get to that new checkpoint and you start that whole process again with the new area. But it's like every area, every little mini bonfire journey is like a mini roguelite game. It's just that I'm not playing the same level over and over again. I'm constantly playing new levels over and over again.
AC Ray says, I want games that feel good enough to play again on their own merit. If you don't want to play again, little numbers going up shouldn't be convincing you to waste your time.
That is absolutely true. That is definitely true.
All right, and AC Wraith also says it seems Edie would enjoy the action adventure part since she likes point and click adventures and action game. It's just the jumping that's the problem.
Yeah.
Maybe more of an old school Zelda would fit. Maybe mini shoot adventures. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's an idea. Yeah, something that's like
the jumping and the wall jumps and the dash midair and the double jumps.
It's the fact that getting around the world is itself a skill check.
Yeah.
You just need something that will let you wander.
Yeah,
Yeah, mini shoot adventure. That could be
okay.
a good one.
I will endeavor to pick that up because now that I have my Steam Deck, I am
Yeah.
playing stuff more.
Good. He also says games like Brotato are about exploring builds. You play again, but do it differently.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and
that's
I like
true.
that.
And
I love those kind of games.
part of my bad habit is that I will find something I like and I will stick to it.
Me too.
It's
Same way.
hard. It's hard to break out of that.
Yeah.
Wu Chang was really good because it let you respec your build like on the fly.
Oh, that's
And
kind of nice.
in the beginning, I would shift between the long sword and the short sword, or the long sword and the axe, or the long sword and the spear. And like I put points into both all those trees and would respec constantly. And then eventually I realized, no, I just really like the long sword. So I'm going to take all the points out of the other weapons and just put it all into long sword.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that game is still fun as hell. But it's like, if I played with the axe, that would be an entirely different experience.
Right.
Anyways,
So any other games that you played? By the way, last
That's it.
call for winning. There it is, right there. We are about to.
yeah, bring
do
up
giveaway.
the wheel.
All right, let me do one last check. See anybody else has joined. No, I think we got everybody. All right. So let me get to, I'm going to give you a couple more seconds, 30 more seconds to add to the wheel.
All right, hang
And I have
Let me put
to
my name in.
do not put your name in, Nick. You have the swag bag, Nick. You can't enter.
Bartender Say has his name in there. Did you get him?
I did.
Okay.
All right. So I am.
AC Wraith is in there.
Yep. Oh, AC Wraith added? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me add
Alsop
him.
Live just said hi.
Okay. All right. Alsop Live. Fuck you. Sure, I'll put you on there, but you can't win.
Is my name a spin again?
Yeah, your name is Spin Again. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else
wheel?
on there? All right. So I'm gonna pull up the wheel now. So entries are closed. Sorry, guys. This is
I've been cursed by AC Wraith.
Where is it? Why can I not find?
You just had it up, right?
Yeah, it's here. I just have to find which screen it is. It's a tab. Come on. There we go. There we go. Found it. All right. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here it is. This is your wheel. Okay. So here it is. We are going to spin to win the entire swag bag. Yeah, bartender says here, driving. Okay. All right. So if we get Alsop live, we will spin again and his name will be removed. All right. So you want to count down?
10.
Go ahead.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Oh
no!
It's
AC Wraith, congratulations. No, it was not planned that way. AC Wraith, you are the winner of the swag bag. Now, we do have, I'm going to take his name out. We do have one more thing to give away. We have the extra Borderlands 4 mask because there's 2 of them. One
okay.
is going into the swag bag. We're going to give away one more.
He says, don't.
I want to All right. We are going to spin again for the mask. All right, ready?
I don't know. I'm seeing a lot of recount issues.
Bartender Say is the winner of the mask. So I already have AC Race. I already have AC Race address, so don't worry about that. Bartender Say, DM me in the.
Are you taking out your name?
Are you removing your name?
I didn't say hi. I just wished everyone good luck and then ended up taking their prize.
Do you want to give it back?
I see a hanging chat.
Do you want to give it back? If you want to give it back, because Nick's, I would have not added you if I'd have seen that you just said good luck.
I wasn't thinking. I saw your
name. Yeah.
name pop up in there.
Yep. So, do you want to give it back? I mean, it's kind of not a fair thing because if you say no, you're an asshole. So, let's just, oh man, I feel bad now. AC Wraith, I'm going to do this for you. I am making an executive decision. All right. Okay, good. Yeah, I was going to make that executive decision of spinning again. All right. So I am not removing Bartender Say. I have removed AC Wraith. Actually,
fine. I guess
Bartender
you can
Say,
remove me.
I'm going to, no, yeah. Okay. I'm going to remove Nick. All right. So Bartender Say, we are also wiping out your mask to get you back into the, actually, let me put it to you. Do you want to keep the mask or do you want to give back the mask and be re-entered for the swag bag?
That's
It
the
is
extra
up to
mask.
you.
That's the extra mask, right? There's a
That's the
mask
extra-
in the swag bag.
Yeah, there is a mask in the swag bag. We
Okay.
got 2 masks. You got one, I got one.
Yeah.
So there's 2 masks. One is going to be in the swag bag. The other one is just a extra spare mask. Okay, Bartender says give it back. All right. So
everyone wants the main bag. No one wants the consolation prize.
I don't blame you. The main bag is awesome. All right, we are spinning again. This time.
Spin it.
Okay, I'm spinning it. All right, let me make sure. Bartender Say is there. Yes. AC Wraith is not. Yes. Okay, spinning again. Oh, Mr. Maynard is the winner of the swag bag.
Dark Horse coming in.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. And we're going to remove him and spin.
He said, of course I want it.
And we're going to give a spin. I mean, I'm not the asshole.
Although AC Wraith says, with the mask, you can maybe rob someone of a swag bag.
That's the thing. If you win the swag bag, your name will be shared with the number 2 runner-up and your address. So they can put that mask to use. All right, here is for the Borderlands mask.
It's going to be Bartender Say again. Oh, Corey.
Corey Wallace is the winner of the masks. Congratulations. All right, and okay, so Corey, send me your address, DM me your address. Actually, I think you might have already done that, but DM me your address again. And I have to get a hold of, I don't think Mr. Maynard is listening right now. I'll have to get a hold of Mr. Maynard and have him send me his address as well. And
I don't know. Yeah. Does that mean his win is null and void and we have to start over again?
What? No, that you're not present. I didn't say you have to be present to win. No.
You have to be present to win. You have to accept the prize.
No.
Come up here and give a speech.
No. I did not say you have to be present to win. So that's the fair thing to do, is you don't have to be present to win. All right. So congratulations, Mr. Maynard. Congratulations, Corey. And I guess we'll hit news now.
Can I use the mask to rob the bag? Absolutely.
You can absolutely do that. I will share.
Don't we have to be listening to be part of the game?
No, we do not. It didn't have to be present to win. I did not specify that. So
AC Wraith has good advice.
When you use the mask to rob Maynard, remember some of the arcade cabinets might have cameras. True. He does have quite a lot of arcade cabinets. All right. So shall we hit?
Okay, give me the bag then.
Let's oh damn it. Damn it. I didn't the other thing is on the loop. All right. So are you ready to do the news?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is
I feel like there's been a ton of movie news, which is
yes.
which is not the biggest of news. It feels like a lot of Hollywood studios. I don't know if there's like some deadline or something coming up, but there's a lot of projects being announced that make me go, let's actually see how far along they get in that.
Right. So let me go to my news banners so I can pull them up. Let's
Okay, wait. Last thing, Koi says, put the swag in the bag and no one knows.
So let's talk about the movies that are coming out. Let's see. What do you want to talk about first? Because there was a lot of movie announcements.
I guess first I will talk about Tomb Raider.
Right.
Last we heard, the Tomb Raider show had been canceled by Amazon, but apparently it is now back on, set to start shooting in January with Sophie Turner, aka Sansa Stark, as Lara Croft.
And I could see her being Lara Croft. Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
she's a good choice.
This was the show that was originally going to be show run by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, but creative differences led to her leaving.
I didn't see. I did not think that was a good choice for director.
Okay,
Phoebe
I don't know
Waller-Bridge doesn't really
much
do
about her.
action-y
She
movies.
she did Fleabag and Killing Eve. She also helped with Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the TV show on
I
Amazon.
forgot she did Killing Eve. I think actually take it back. I think Phoebe Waller-Bridge would have been a good choice because Killing Eve is amazing.
Okay, because I saw most of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, hated it, thought it was terrible.
Killing Eve
Absolutely
is fantastic.
I really want to see it. I've heard good things about it.
Oh, in fact, I'm trying to get Chris to watch it because I'm like, you really need to see it.
Yeah.
Everything that I've said you really need to see, he doesn't really like. Like he didn't really like Barry. I'm like, you should watch The Expanse. He's like,
Oh, tell him The Expanse has my personal seal of approval.
Okay.
That it may be one of the best sci-fi shows ever made.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you. And I want to rewatch the whole season. I've watched everything except the last season. And I
Ditto. Oh, you know what? Maybe
I want to rewatch it together. You want to watch?
We could do a rewatch of The Expanse.
Okay, we could, because I do need to rewatch The Expanse because it is so complicated. I mean, it is such a Game of Thrones in space, even bigger than Game of Thrones in space. It is just so complicated. And if you don't watch it for what was it like? It came out in 2021. The Expanse came out in 2021, the last season. So it's been 5, 6, maybe 7 years since I have seen it. So I don't remember anything. I mean, I remember some things, but not enough.
You remember moments, but you don't remember all the connective tissue.
Exactly. And this is absolutely a story about connective tissue.
Yeah.
So yeah.
AC Wraith also says Alien Earth has been good so far.
What is Alien Earth? Oh, that's the Alien? Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris wants to watch that.
You could probably get him to watch that.
Yeah, no, he wants to watch it. I'm like,
you don't want to watch that?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay, I haven't seen it, but I do want to. And when I do, I'll give it an Edie thumbs up or an Edie thumbs down.
Okay, good. Do that. But please make a case to Chris about why he should watch The Expanse.
Did he see Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Did he like Game of Thrones?
Yeah, except the last season.
Tell him it's if Game of Thrones ended well. If you set Game of Thrones in space, that's The Expanse. It's noir, space opera, sci-fi. It deals with big ideas. It does the thing that Game of Thrones did so well of showing grand political sea changes from the perspective of the itty-bitty people who were just swept along like bugs.
Mm-hmm. And it starts out about being itty-bitty people.
Yeah, it starts small, and then
very small, and
the scope of the conflict keeps growing and growing.
It starts growing and growing, and these people are getting themselves deeper and deeper and deeper into this very, very vast world of politics and culture, and it just becomes like this excruciatingly.
So I will say, and I don't know. I would say Interesting. AC Wraith says The Expanse is more modern Babylon 5. I never
Yeah.
saw Babylon 5.
I never saw Babylon 5, but yeah, I agree. I know what Babylon 5 is about.
If he doesn't want to like sit down and watch all 6 seasons, I remember that the first 3 seasons were pretty self-contained. Like the first 3 seasons on Sci-Fi, those were the Sci-Fi seasons.
Yeah, that's because Sci-Fi canceled it after the
Yeah.
3rd season, and then Amazon went and said,
But
"Oh no,
that-
we're
that-
taking it. We're taking it. We're going to keep making it."
That 3rd season could work as a series finale. It's like it ends in a way that, opens up and speaks to new stories, but it's like, okay, I feel like this has come to a good conclusion. And then the 4th season, which I think was the last one I saw,
That was the last one I saw.
It was like, okay, we're going to pick up after this and kind of start telling a new story in this new status quo situation. So like,
and
tell him to just watch the first 3 seasons. If he wants to keep going, he can.
And season 4,
but tell him
the season 4 ending, so good, so good. How season 4 starts and characters kind of evolving within season 4 and how it ends is just so good. So good. So,
yes,
this is not. So we were talking about Lara Croft. Yes,
Yeah, anyway,
I think Sophie
that's
Turner
all
is a good. Did they say who the director is now that it's not What's Her Bucket?
The new showrunner is Chad Hodge. Hodge? Hodge.
Hodge.
Chad Hodge, who did Wayward Pines, which was like a fun B-movie show way back in the day, and Good Behavior, which I don't know about.
I saw Wayward Pines, but I can't remember it.
Wayward, look, man, if you want to watch something that's like, hey, here's a Lost style, what the fuck is going on, weird small town mystery that just blows the fuck up into something that's like where the how it ends is not how it began, but like in a good way, in a good fun,
in that Breaking Bad way where it was like started off kind of like almost being funny, and then at the end it's like, dude, it's so not funny.
No, because in Breaking Bad there's like a logical progression from that beginning to end. With Wayward Pines, it starts with this FBI guy waking up in a small town, and I think he's looking for some terrorist, but like all the people in the small town are weird and no one can leave the small town. Like, what is going on here? Why can no one leave? Clearly, there is something weird going on. It's not a spoiler to say, yes, there is something weird going on. You will never guess what that weird thing is.
Okay. All right.
Because it's fucking out there.
I am now putting that on the list of things I want to watch. All right.
Okay.
Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, by that guy. Sounds good.
Yeah, by that guy, it could be good. Oops, that was my fault. It could be good. Yeah, Sophie Turner seems like she'd be good as Lara Croft. Yeah, I don't know. Well, look, this show has been in development hell for a long time. Yeah. Who knows if it will ever actually come out? I feel like Amazon is a little hit and miss with a lot of their shows. Even the supposedly good ones, I think, are hit and miss.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Speaking of development hell a little bit, but it seems to be knocking forward. All right. I guess if we're going to say there's a theme to this newscast, it is Amazon is going deep into video game adaptations, and they're not afraid to say it.
Well, they claim they are, but like I said, let's actually wait and see how many of these projects come to fruition.
Right. Amazon's God of War series finally has a filming date. It is going to be filmed. It is going to start in March of next year in Vancouver. Sources told Nexus Point News. The casting right now is currently underway, so we don't know who will be playing anybody at this point.
I feel like we're going to start shooting in March. We haven't found anyone to join us, but we will start shooting in March.
Well, they do know who the showrunners are. Okay. Ronald D. Moore. Don't know anything about it. You can look it up.
Fuck. God damn it.
Why?
God damn it. I wanted to make fun of this show. because it's Amazon and because God of War and because it's been in development hell. But Ronald D. Moore is fucking incredible. He did the Battlestar Galactica. He was behind Outlander. He's
Oh,
behind For All Mankind on
oh my
Apple.
gosh. Yeah.
He has a fucking track record that most people would kill for.
Ooh.
Ah,
All right. So the
God damn it.
writers' room on
Now
this.
this could actually be good.
So here's the writers that are on it. Matthew Graham, who did Electric Dreams and Spanish Princess. Stephanie Shannon, known for All Mankind and Outlander.
Okay, yeah.
Narendra
Probably
K. Shankar, who did The Expanse and For All Mankind.
Good choice.
Joe Minosky, For All Mankind and Star Trek Discovery.
Probably good choice too.
Mark D. Bernardin worked on The Continental and Star Trek Picard.
I've heard less good things about those two shows.
And Tanya Lodia, who worked on The Witcher and The Mighty Nine.
A little iffy.
Now she's got the nerd cred.
Yeah. The Witcher was a show that like started really well and then just kind of went down, and the last season I was like, I don't know who any of these characters are.
Right. Well, that's because
there was
that had nothing to do with the writing. That had to do with the showrunner. That had to do with the showrunner, and it had to do with my gimme, the man I would die for.
Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill, yeah.
Mm.
That was that going down. That was internal politics that wrecked that show. Because Henry Cavill wouldn't put up with someone taking liberties with the script, and the showrunner
changes.
Right. Was all about, she wanted to make it her own story. And it's like, Henry was like, no, you don't seem to understand what The Witcher is. It is a literature that is very important to an entire country, and B, there are millions of game nerds who are watching this, and if you start fucking with it, all hell is going to break loose, and I will not be attached to that because those are my people. And so then she tried to character assassinate him by getting people to say that he had sexually harassed them. It was just, yeah, she's a real piece of work. I hope she never works in Hollywood again. But anyway, that's why The Witcher sucked. It wasn't the writing.
Okay.
And speaking of Amazon.
Anyway, so yeah, they've got God of War coming.
God of War coming.
More. I'm actually okay. You know what? God of War, Tomb Raider. Like in terms of things to keep notice of, we'll create a tier list of all the shows and movies.
All the shows coming out on Amazon. All right, so here's another one to add to the list. Okay. Amazon also announced this week a series adaptation of the game Life is Strange. That is the God damn it, what's the name of the company?
Square Enix.
What? No, it wasn't Square. Well, Square Enix, the publisher.
I guess, yeah, published
what was the name?
The guys that did Banishers.
Yes, and they're up in Seattle. Huh?
Don't Nod.
That's it. So Don't Nod. They're really the game that kind of broke it out for them. I think would easily could be considered their big hit, or at least their first big hit, was the story about the teenager in an art school. She just moved up to, I believe it was the Seattle area.
I think so.
And she can shift time using her camera. She kind of finds herself with these powers that she doesn't understand. She has this very good friend. There's the thing going on in the town. It was a very, I would say, accessible, the equivalent of a young adult.
Yeah.
Show.
It was a really good coming of age game.
But it was a great coming of age game. I really, really loved the story because it felt like a story that hadn't been told in video games, certainly with as much understanding and sensitivity to the characters themselves and who they are. So yeah, that is, and I'm trying to find where I wrote that down.
And that was just an announcement. There weren't any names attached to it?
There was. The showrunner is going to be Charlie Covell, who did Chaos and The End of the Fucking World. If you have not watched The End of the Fucking World, go fucking watch The End of the Fucking World. There's 2 seasons. It's fucking phenomenal.
Okay, that show was good. I remember Chaos. I only know about it because it was canceled by Netflix after like a week after it came out because it didn't hit the numbers it needed to, and people were really
Yeah, and
pissed
then they
off
did a
about that.
second, and then they did a second season
No,
because it was.
there was no second season.
Yes, there was.
Chaos with a K.
No, not Chaos. I thought you meant End of the Fucking World.
Oh yes, End of the Fight. No, Chaos was the one with Jeff Goldblum
Mm-hmm.
as like the leader Zeus.
Oh, I watched the first few episodes, and I actually
Yeah?
kind of liked it.
You joined the club, but you know what? If you didn't watch all of it, you're why it got canceled because it didn't
Yeah,
put the
yeah. I
numbers that
didn't.
it
I
needed
didn't
to.
discover it.
I
until
also didn't watch it. I'm why it got canceled.
Yeah, yeah. I actually watched the first couple of. I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. This is not what I expected. It's kind of off the beaten path as far as feel, but I'm into it. I'm good with it. So End of the Fucking World is just incredible. British based,
Which is actually like the spiritual cousin to Life is Strange, right? Coming of age story about a girl with superpowers.
yes, yes. It is it was an adaptation of a graphic novel that is
Life is
the end of,
Strange?
no End
Oh
of the
yeah,
Fucking
End of the
World.
Fucking World. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good. Oh, should have gotten a season 2. End of the
But you did
Fucking
get a
World.
season 2. You said it
I'm
got a
sorry.
season
I
2.
was mixing it up with something else. End of the
Oh,
Fucking
okay,
World
okay.
didn't get a season 2. There are 2 shows that have like actually wounded me because they didn't get a second season. One is Firefly, get an extra season. One is Firefly, should never have been canceled. End of the Fucking World not getting a season 2 has got to be one of the greatest travesties in television history. I will say that on the record. So anyway, the series is going to adapt the first game of the franchise because it had a couple of different games after that. The first game by far was the strongest.
Which is like the critically acclaimed game. The last game was not particularly well received.
Yeah. The series is going to be produced by Square Enix, and alongside Story Kitchen and Lucky Chap, which was the Barbie production banner that Margot Robbie is among one of the founders.
Okay, production companies, I have less overall faith in than like the people.
Right. So, I think that this also has some. It's not bad. I'm not hating what they got going so far, but it's a pretty ambitious lineup when you think about all the video game shows that Amazon is doing.
This one seems like a natural choice because look, coming of age story of a teen girl with superpowers. Netflix made their version. Like there is a way to make this pretty cheap, right? When you compare this to Tomb Raider or even though God of War has like probably a more stacked production crew behind it, I think this one, even though it's earlier in the process, is probably more likely to come out because God of War is going to be expensive as hell to make. This easily could be, a quarter to an eighth of the price.
Not as much as it used to be because a lot of the CGI is way cheaper than it used to be.
No, but that's also why God of War just requires more of it. Life is Strange doesn't require much CGI in general.
Yeah.
You can just find a school to film in.
Yeah. So actually, if you think about it, when you think about these 3, it sounds like Amazon has being very ambitious and doing a lot. If you look at where these things are in the production lineup, they're being very strategic and picking very good properties and introducing them at intervals. Obviously, God of War is coming first. Then next is going to be Tomb Raider. They're going to probably start production, I would have guessed 2027. And then now they've just announced early stages, like even earlier stage than
And the
Tomb
other two.
Raider. Now they're doing Life is Strange. So they're not jumping in all at once. It's just that they have a very long calendar. They are investing into the idea that video game adaptations of video games do work, and we're going to very strategically pick very, very good properties, and we're going to invest in them, and we're going to invest in them in intervals. So it's not all at once. It says they're not going on a spending spree. Bottom line, when it comes to video game stuff. But then
Although
again, they
my
also
one,
make more money than God. So
right, they could go on a spending spree. They're just too cheap to do it.
that's the investors, of
I
which I am one.
My one hesitation with Tomb Raider
Mhm.
is that I feel like, fairly or not, that is the more corporate mandated show, because Amazon bought Crystal Dynamics,
Mhm.
right? Oh no, you said Embracer owns Crystal Dynamics.
Embracer owns Crystal Dynamics.
I think then Embracer made a deal with Amazon to like produce a game and a show. So
Mhm.
like the show is the result of a deal made years ago when Embracer was in a better situation, when Tomb Raider was like a bit more new and in people's minds. And I feel like, we know they're working on another game.
There's only
I-
one game they're working on, and that's Tomb Raider. That's the only
Yeah.
game that Embracer is working on right now,
but
because they
that's what I mean
canceled
is
Perfect Dark.
I don't know if they're trying to time the game, the show to come out similarly or what, but if you make a deal with Amazon to make the game and they say, yes, we're going to do a show, I felt like that comes from a time when Amazon was a bit more desperate for content for Amazon Prime. Was like, oh, hey, we can get the TV rights too. Let's do it. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, yeah, she did Fleabag. Everyone loves Fleabag. Put her on Tomb Raider. And then as time goes on, all the deals start to fall through, and everyone's like, shit, do we really want to keep doing
Tomb
this?
Raider? The game hasn't come out.
It was
Embracer's kind of
Bill made that deal, not me. I'm Bob. I took Bill's job because Bill made a bunch of bad deals.
Yeah.
Do I want to continue down this path?
Entirely possible. But
anyways,
so going from Tomb Raider, all right.
Okay. Bartender also asked, speaking of Amazon, what did we think of Secret Level? I didn't actually see Secret Level.
I haven't seen Secret Level.
That was the it's a series of animated video game shorts from the Love, Death, and Robot people.
Oh, I didn't. I heard about it. It's on my list of stuff to watch, but I haven't watched it.
Yeah, neither have I. Haven't gotten around. I haven't opened Amazon Prime in a while.
Yep. So going on the, once more on the Chris train for stories. So one of the things that Chris sent me as soon as we sent it to me when he was up at PAX, was an announcement that was made by Activision and sent out to all employees. And of course, now what's happened. It was just a press release. Paramount has announced that it will be making a Call of Duty movie, which now officially makes every single game that Chris has worked on by a AAA publisher a movie.
I guess, yeah, he worked on Tomb Raider. I don't know. There's no Perfect Dark movie.
There is no Perfect Dark movie. Everything that's come out.
Okay.
He worked on Lord of the Rings.
Okay, yeah, that was
what else did he
movie
work on?
adaptation.
There's like 5 different ones that have all been. You can look it up. Look up what he did. Every single movie or game that he has worked on since like his 30s has been made into a movie or has been a movie property.
What's the movie of Future Cop?
Moby. No. Yeah, no. I'm talking about like since his 30s. Like,
okay.
Pretty much he's a perfect track record for everything he worked on ended up being. And Call of Duty was like a outlier. It's like, oh, I'm going to work on something that's not a movie, either going to be made into a movie or a movie property. And then as soon as he gets hired, they announce this movie. Yes, Paramount has announced that it will be making a Call of Duty movie. That was announced on Tuesday of last week. Scion David Ellison, son of Oracle founder Larry Ellison, he had assumed control of Paramount after Ellison purchased Paramount. He took over last month, and he's overseeing a major effort to revitalize Paramount, because it's been not doing so great for quite a while. According to David Ellison, the new head of Paramount, he said, "I'm a lifelong fan of Call of Duty. This is truly a dream come true. From first Allied campaigns in the original Call of Duty through Modern Warfare and Black Ops, I've spent countless hours playing this franchise that I absolutely love. Being entrusted by Activision and players worldwide to bring this extraordinary storytelling universe to the big screen is both an honor and a responsibility we don't take lightly." There is no valuation that has been provided for this deal, so we don't know how much it has cost either side. But under this deal, Paramount's going to, quote, develop, produce, and distribute a live action feature film based on the franchise. This is what Activision released in their press release. Also, I read today, which I was able to truth drop onto Chris, there has been a rumor that came out after that
I think
announcement.
this is what I wanted to talk about.
The rumor was that Steven
No, this isn't
Spielberg.
I don't think this is a rumor. I think this is a
truth.
Yeah.
Everything I read was reportedly, so I just am going by the reportedly. According to reports, as reported by Puck News, Steven Spielberg wanted to make the Call of Duty movie, and he approached Activision with his Amblin Entertainment, his production company, and Universal Pictures, and they presented it to Activision, and they were in talks about it. But what blew the deal, and this is the reason why Paramount has it and not Universal and Spielberg. The quote is from someone who was
the guy
reported
from
this.
Puck News.
Yeah, the guy for Puck News. Spielberg, the deal came with the famous Spielberg deal, this is a quote, which includes top market economics, final cut, and full control over production and marketing. This made Amazon go, or sorry, Activision go, I don't know how I feel about Steven Spielberg having full control and, like veto power over and final cut power over the Call of Duty movie. This is our property. We really want to control it. So they did not want to give up that kind of power to Steven Spielberg, which is why they passed on that deal and took the Ellison deal. I don't know how I feel about that, because I think that Universal and Spielberg have the wherewithal to do a better job. I do not trust Paramount. I do not trust Nepo Baby Ellison's son, who was named to the head of his daddy's new studio. No matter how much he loves Call of Duty, I do not trust him to make good movies, because he doesn't make movies. He's Larry Ellison's Nepo Baby son.
Isn't the woman who runs Annapurna on Ellison Nepo Baby too?
Yes, she's an Ellison Nepo Baby, and she has destroyed Annapurna. She fired everybody at Annapurna.
Well, that's true. For a while there, they were doing good, though.
For a while they were doing good, and then she assumed control. And I believe Annapurna is owned by Paramount. And so when they bought Paramount, they got Annapurna, and I think it's Skydance as well. And because they got Skydance, they got Annapurna Studios. Because they got Annapurna Studios, they also got the Annapurna Games and Interactive Games division. And they made her head of, I don't remember if it was the studio or the games division, but she's the head of that. So yeah, I do not trust
Yeah, Megan Ellison, chairwoman and CEO.
Megan Ellison. That's right. I do not trust Nepo Baby Ellison of either kind to know what the fuck they are doing, because they have been surrounded all their life being told that they're perfect little fucking snowflakes, and then
So
daddy just buying them the jobs they want.
I would say, even taking all the Ellison factor out of it, I'm a little wary of this deal because
Mm-hmm.
Skydance just bought Paramount. Like that was a whole big deal. There was like accusations. I think what CBS tried to sell it, and there was all talk of they stopped the Colbert Show because it made fun of Trump, and as part of the deal for the not DOJ, but as part of the federal
But FTC.
agreement to let the merger go through, that there was bribery and underhand stuff going on. A lot of controversy about this purchase, but Skydance, relatively small player buying Paramount, who's a legacy player in movie studios. What that means, like, of all the people that could buy Paramount, Skydance is the least worst decision. So, best of the bad situation. But Top Gun came out, did great. There's not really much you can do with that, right? That was kind of Paramount's big thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they also have Fast and the Furious. Or is that Universal?
I think that's Universal. They have
Okay.
Godfather.
My Godfather isn't an IP.
Oh, Godfather. That's another movie, another game that Chris worked on.
Okay. But like Godfather's not an IP. My point is Paramount and Skydance, they need IP in this age of everything is driven by IP. They need a franchise. They need something that they can put out a movie of every 2 to 3 years and bring in, a couple $100 million reliably. So I can see them being very over eager for something like Call of Duty. Oh, we're making the Call of Duty movie. Those games get billions of dollars every year. If we can get like, half of that, that's perfect. So I see this as more
Just
of
because they want it
this is
doesn't
absolutely
mean they
more
can
of a
do it.
monetary financial decision. They think, oh, we can get the Call of Duty movie. We can exploit that the same way that Kotick exploited Call of Duty.
Mhm.
Spielberg came in here going, look, man,
I want to make a good movie.
I want to make a movie. Right? And
And
Guidance and
and
Paramount was like, no.
and that is another drawback of Spielberg. Spielberg wanted to come in and make a Call of Duty movie. And would it have been probably good? Probably would have been fucking amazing.
But would it have been franchisable?
Exactly. Would he come back in 2
Yeah.
years to make a new one? Probably not. He wants to make one movie, and he wanted to make that one movie. So he doesn't do movie series. Sure, you could make it something like Harry Potter, where you have a new director every single time, because each of them having a different flavor, a different feel, and you pick the right director for the field. But that's a bit of a gamble. For something like Call of Duty, that wasn't a gamble for the Harry Potter movies after the first one was successful.
I also think that they just want Spielberg would make with full creative control. I think wants to make something more dramatic, and I think Paramount wants something more in the Paramount
more
wants
summer
Paramount wants
blockbuster.
Michael Bay. They don't want Spielberg.
Yeah.
If Michael Bay came to them with a pitch,
Yep.
they wouldn't even read a script. They'd be like, "Mr. Bay, you're all boy."
Absolutely. They want a James Cameron.
Yes. Except James Cameron is off making his own Alien Call of Duty.
Yeah, James Cameron is also certifiably fucking insane.
Except, certifiably insane, except, you know what? The man has not made a bad movie in his entire career. Fact.
Not a big fan. Not a big fan.
True Lies?
Not a big fan. True Lies, yeah, fine.
True
But
Lies.
like his
great.
Avatar movies?
Avatar's good. Avatar gets hate because, and this is going to sound weird, it's not franchisable.
Well, he's franchised it.
He has, but he hasn't.
Mm.
Imagine, and actually now Disney does own Avatar. Imagine a Disney-owned Avatar.
Well, we're about to find out.
Take Avatar and what you have seen of it in the pop culture from when the first movie came out until now. When the third movie comes out going forward, just look at like how Disney just fucking milks those teats for all they're worth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways, this just in. Uwe Boll buys the rights to Call of Duty movie.
Yeah. I would.
What is Uwe
Man,
Boll?
Uwe Boll as that would have been that would have been awful. At the same time, I absolutely would have gone to see that movie. He said those 2 Fern Gully remakes made money, I guess, according to Macy Wraith.
Yeah, they did. They did.
So yeah, that's what's gonna happen is the Call of Duty movie. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully it'll happen sometime in my lifetime.
Okay, he's still making movies. He's just making really low budget movies.
Yeah, he's making his kind of movies because he can.
Oh, he's made. Oh man,
Who?
there were 3 In the Name of the King movies, and there were like 3 to 4 Rampage movies. No, 3 Rampage movies. And
He's just doing his thing.
Rampage is not the Dwayne Johnson giant monster Rampage based on the video game. Uwe Boll's Rampage is basically a dude in like a full body bulletproof outfit going on a shooting spree.
Yeah.
He made 3 of those movies.
God
Assault
love him. Uwe Boll
on Wall
is
Street.
unapologetically Uwe Boll.
Man, he's worked a lot with Dominic Purcell, who's not a name you probably know, but if you see him, you'll be like, oh yeah, I know him.
I am. He's all in all the Uwe Boll movies. Anyway.
Oh man.
Moving right along.
Blood Valley Seeds Revenge. In the Name of the King 3, The Last Mission.
And I promise
Rampage, Capital Punishment. Okay, those are all ones he directed.
Nick.
Rampage, President Down.
Nick.
First Shift.
I will mute you. I don't need to know Uwe Boll's entire filmography, okay?
Run. Oh, he did Run just this year.
So, not to make this the Chris cast, because I want this, as I said to Nick before we started, let's not make this a 3-hour show.
Oh, wait. I thought you were going to say Bulletproof Monkey Suit. That would be funny. That would be way more funny.
It would be funny. Not to make this a Chris cast, but I guess this is technically the Chris part of the cast. So there was a rumor this last week that was.
Did he do Postal too? Was there a sequel to Postal?
That 2K it wasn't Take 2K, it was Take 2. You're wrong. It's Take 2, not 2K.
Okay. I mean, they are kind of the same.
No, 2K and Take 2 are not the same. They're different.
I think 2K is the sports arm of Take 2.
Is it? Are they related? I don't think so.
2K,
so anyway,
okay,
Take 2 almost picked up Perfect Dark. And that was before cancellation, actually.
2K Games is a subsidiary of Take-Two Interactive.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm wrong.
Yes.
So it wasn't after cancellation. So the reports came out this week. Rumors, third-party people that wanted to go anonymous. And this was to Jason Schreier. So it's a very reliable sources. They did not want to speak on the record, but they reported to him that Embracer was in talks after the 9,000 people lost their jobs. Actually, take it back. After the 9,000 people lost their jobs, or right about that time, Take-Two entered into talks to discuss with Embracer taking over the Perfect Dark and making it themselves, bringing it in-house with them. They would finish making it after essentially, as remember, Perfect Dark was being made by the Initiative. The Initiative was a partnership studio between Microsoft and Embracer. And Embracer was brought on by Microsoft to make this game. So the IP actually belonged to Microsoft. So before the 9,000 people lost their jobs, Take-Two approached Microsoft and said, "Hey, we will make Perfect Dark. We will take over the production of Perfect Dark and we'll make it for you." And they couldn't come to an agreement because of ownership rights to the subsequent series. If
Wait,
there
did
was a
they go
subsequent
to
series.
Microsoft or did they go to Embracer / Crystal Dynamics?
Microsoft, because it was
Okay.
Initiative. Crystal Dynamics was essentially brought on as a partner to make it with them, but the IP was Microsoft's, and Microsoft wouldn't give up ownership to a level that Take-Two wanted in order to take over production from it, to essentially say, "Hey, you shut down the Initiative, we'll take it on, we'll do it." And that's what ended up happening, was that it just didn't happen. So Microsoft was Perfect Dark was almost saved by Take-Two, which
But again,
honestly would have been
they-
great.
But again,
Take
they couldn't figure out a way to franchise it.
Well, they couldn't. They knew they were going to franchise it. They knew
Well, no,
the
but
way
they-
to franchise it. They
they-
couldn't come to agreement of who was going to get the money from the franchise. Who was going
Exactly.
to own the franchise.
But like the same with the Call of Duty movie, they want that IP. They don't
right.
they don't just want to make a game. They want the potential to make a game and
games.
a sequel and a spin-off. They want the franchise. And if you
Yeah.
can't get the franchise, it's like no one wants your product.
Right. Well, that's the thing, is that big studios like this have to have something that's franchisable. That's always been the goal of video game, the top tier, AAA studios. It has 100% since practically the dawn of time, they wanted to make a sequel. If you made a big enough game, it was good enough, you made a sequel. That's where always the big money was. So that doesn't surprise me. It's a lot like a movie where it's like you want to make just one good movie and let it stand and win an Oscar. Video games have always been about making sequels and having a franchise and doing it every 4 years, like Tomb Raider, like Call of Duty. That's been a standard within the industry since God wore short pants.
It's gotten worse now than it has been.
Right. Well, it's gotten more necessary because that's where the big money is, and because all of these video game studios, these big, large studios and large publishers, are all now publicly traded. They have to make money year over year. They cannot have a down year or everybody gets fired. And by everybody, I mean all the people working there, so that they can pop up their bottom line so it doesn't look so bad to investors. Investors do not care about the product. They only care about the profit. So, yeah, it's a shame. I would have liked to have seen Perfect Dark come out, because what we saw in that trailer was in-game footage, but it was in-game, very scripted in-game footage.
Yeah, it was a vertical slice. Like
It was a vertical slice.
demo designed to show off that specific instance.
Right.
It's
right.
like if you
And
go
it
back
looked
and
good.
look
I
at
liked
if you go back and watch the first reveal of BioShock Infinite, that sequence is not in the game at all, because the game didn't actually exist when they showed that footage. That was like a test footage. It's like, this is what we're going for. And I think the Perfect Dog was similar. It's like, okay, this is a demo, but like this is a very crafted demo. This is like a proof of concept more than it is a functional work that can stand on its own.
Right. The game, I mean, I can say this, the game did not look like that. I saw being worked on. It was far more rudimentary than that.
Yeah, you told
So
me everyone was stick figures? It's like just people going around like they didn't have hands or fingers, they just had little points. They're just like,
I never said anything like
yeah.
that.
You said like
You're making this up. Do not put words in my
Fire
mouth.
Emblem Awakening, none of
That
the characters actually
had
had
feet.
feet. It was Perfect Dark was like that, but with hands.
I never
They
said
just had little
anything.
points, and they're
I
just like,
I
and their gun
never
would hover in the pointed hand.
Nick, don't make up shit. I never said that.
Yeah,
Don't make up shit. I never said that.
you told me that they
No,
scripted the entire art style to make it
seriously,
anime.
I never said that to you. For the record, I never ever said anything like it. Nick is making this shit up.
She's like, oh yeah, the anime art is
He
wild.
thinks he's being funny. He thinks he's being funny. He's making it up. So anyway, moving right along.
Okay.
Let's see what else. There was an interview with Pete Hines, the ex-boss of Bethesda. No longer the boss of Bethesda, hasn't been for many years, but still was Bethesda forever. And then when Bethesda was purchased by Microsoft, he was no longer head of Bethesda. And he didn't have a lot of great things to say about the idea of Game Pass. So he was being interviewed by who? Double Tap. It was a much bigger interview, but this is a section of it that touches on Prey and the Elder Scrolls. That was the whole interview touched on that. But this is one section that has not only gotten a lot of attention from people, also got a lot of attention from Microsoft executives. So here's what he said. He saw firsthand the consequences of Microsoft's acquisition to Bethesda, since he had worked there for 24 years prior to Microsoft purchasing it. He said, quote, "I'm not working at any of these companies anymore, so I don't assume that everything I knew while I was in the industry still holds true today. At the same time, I'm involved enough to know that I saw what I considered to be some short-sighted decision making several years ago, and it seemed to be bearing out the way I said it would. Subscriptions have become the new four-letter word, right? You can't buy a product anymore. When you talk about a subscription that relies on content, if you don't figure out how to balance the needs of the service and the people running the service with the people who are providing the content, without which your subscription is worth jack shit, then you have a real problem. You need to properly acknowledge, compensate, and recognize what it takes to create that content, and not just make a game, but make a product. That tension is hurting a lot of people, including the content creators themselves, because they're fitting into an ecosystem that is not properly valuing and rewarding what they're making," which is sort of what you were saying about got to have a franchise, got to have something you want to subscribe to.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Shannon Loftus, who served as the head of first party studio World's Edge and was the VP of Xbox Game Studios, is one of the people that has spoken up about that particular quote from Pete Hines, and said in LinkedIn, she kind of concurred with him. "As a longtime first-party Xbox developer, I can attest that Pete is correct. While Games Pass can claim a few victories with games that otherwise would have sunk beneath the waves, humans fall flat, the majority of game adoption on Game Pass comes at the expense of retail revenue, unless the game is engineered from the ground up for post-release monetization. I could, and maybe someday, write pages on the weird inner tensions this creates." So yeah, this is being seen by people that have the freedom to be able to speak out from the developer and the content producer's point of view, that Games Pass is not good for games. In fact, it's kind of bad for games because it is not valuing the content and only valuing the product of the Game Pass.
I feel like I've said that before.
You have a million times. And
But
very
I
smart people agree
I
with
feel
you.
like that's something we saw really during the pandemic when all the movie studios tried to make streaming services and realized that the scale of not just infrastructure you need to support a streaming service that can stream out video of a quality to millions and millions of homes with the infrastructure required to continually produce new content for that service.
Mhm.
The costs of that are astronomical. And everyone wanted to be the next Netflix, but they don't
Right.
realize that you can't start off as Netflix. Netflix started small and grew into the behemoth that it now is. You cannot compete with that behemoth like starting from scratch. You
No, you
just can't.
can't. You can't
You
come out of the
need
gate like that.
you need to be either Apple or Amazon who have billions of dollars to burn to compete
To
with that. And
Yeah, to give
even
it the
then,
years of investment in order to let it grow organically to get to the point of Amazon. Netflix. Netflix got that way because they spent 20 years doing it before they actually even started doing streaming.
and even then, Amazon and Apple are failing to compete with Netflix.
Right.
Like they need their movie services are perks that come with other perks of their own infrastructure. And even then, like they have a fraction of the viewers that Netflix does.
When I have to
Um,
go to Apple Plus to specifically watch certain series simply because they're so good and I know about that nobody's going to watch them because they're on Apple Plus,
mhm,
that's a problem.
yeah. Um, so yeah, streaming and subscription services are just way more expensive to maintain than I think a lot of companies realized.
Mhm.
And they sunk a lot of money and a lot of jobs and a lot of effort into realizing that.
Yep.
And Microsoft, I think, I think one of the reasons they're very defensive about Game Pass is because I think I don't think it is as unsustainable as people like Pete Hines make it. I guess he's not saying it's unsustainable. He's saying that it's not financially advantageous for the games on the service,
Right.
which
Right.
isn't the same as
That the
saying that the service
subscription
itself is unsustainable.
right, that when you value the income from the subscription at the detriment of retail revenue, which is what is happening, what it does is it devalues the content and devalues the people that are making the content, and you're overvaluing the people that are making the streaming service.
Yeah. And I think the service as itself is more sustainable than people suspect, but also less sustainable than Microsoft would want you to believe.
Right.
Um,
Very well put.
if Game Pass was a success on the level of Netflix, Microsoft would not stop talking about it. They have not talked about Game Pass in a very long time.
Mm-mm. When they have to fire 9,000 people to make their bottom line look better to investors and to start shareholders because of Game Pass.
They bought a lot of studios in order to feed into the Game Pass grind machine. And then they realized, shit, we may have bought too much. The Game Pass grind machine can't support this many studios. We need to let some of them go.
Yep. Speaking of letting stuff go, I came across this very, very interesting interview that was actually a podcast, a video cast, much better than ours. It was called
Nonsense.
The Thursday News Show. And they interviewed Amir Satvet, who was a Tencent executive. He made a name for himself as Amir Satvet's Game Community, which is a completely free resource that is for helping to help people find jobs in the video game industry. And because he is in that space now, because he's a numbers guy, he is very much watching very carefully hiring trends and job trends within the gaming industry. And so he has collected, between his project and also just because he's watching this shit, a huge amount of data about the games industry as far as jobs and employment. And he's tracked, reportedly, tens of thousands of applicants, covered thousands of studios. He's built a network of about 2,500 people who've been mentoring as many as 75,000 people. It's very much like he is in the center of all of this collective stuff that is happening around people that are employed within the industry, and also the studios that are hiring within this industry. So it was a very long interview. He talked about a lot of things, like which types of jobs are more likely to be hired for than others. What are the best practices right now if somebody wants to be hired within the industry? But here's what caught my attention, is that he was talking about how in North America, where a lot of people that are covering the news industry and talking about the gaming industry are, we are getting this feeling that the game industry is falling apart. Like it's getting smaller, like it's failing, and people are losing their jobs, in that we have this sense of like the great recession of video games, because so many, 9,000 people losing their job, 4,000 people losing their job, 2,000 people. There's people being fired all the time. How long has it been since we've had a show we haven't talked about people getting fired? It's actually not getting smaller. If you look at the game industry as a whole, it's actually getting larger. There's never before been as many jobs in the gaming industry as there are now. The reason why you and I get this feeling that it's not doing well, 70% of the job losses are in North America in the gaming industry. And 50% of those job losses are in California specifically. I would be really interested to know how many of them are in the Bay Area and how many of them are in LA, because that's where where the game industry is really, like, those are the centers of gaming.
50% of all those, 50% of the 70% of job losses are in California. I imagine 90% of that 50 is in the Bay Area or LA, because that's where game studios are located.
Right. So here is what he's saying. He's saying that the growth in the industry is actually not in North America. It is in Asia and it is in Europe. Here's the actual
quote. It's
in
developing countries.
Yep. Here's the actual quote. Over 70%, and in some years, 75% of the layoffs have been in North America. North America used to have 30, 35, 40% of the open roles, and that number is down to 25%. Overall employment in the industry has actually increased since pre-COVID. But if you're in North America in a AAA studio, you're like, what are you talking about? The workforce is cut by 15 to 20%. Versus if you're in a studio in Asia, you're like, what are you talking about? We've seen an increase in job. And here's another stat. Over 50% of the cuts globally have been in California. California AAA is like the epicenter of the difficulty.
Which I think it
sorry.
speaks less about the health of the industry in general and more about the health of the American AAA space.
Yes.
Which I think that we've rightly zeroed in on, like, that's the unsustainable.
Because that's where we live. This is where we are.
But like I remember I had that whole PowerPoint presentation that guy put out for free about the state of the industry, and he said that no, a lot of the jobs are coming from China. Like if you look at Steam, there are more players playing when China's awake and the US is asleep than when the US is awake and China's asleep.
Mm-hmm.
And like the globalization of the game market is not just taking those jobs,
Well, I don't
but
think
it's
it's a
creating new gaming experiences that are then competing with the AAA games in ways that are make it hard. Marvel Rivals from a South Korean studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think that the games industry is being globalized. I think that the
I mean, I think
epicenter
it
has
is.
shifted to Asia.
I
I
don't,
think
I
it's
don't, I
I
don't know
think
if
it's
there's
going
a
to be the
new
same. You are
epicenter.
going to have epicenters for games. Poland is an epicenter for games.
Yeah,
Their country
each of those.
invests heavily in game development, and they subsidize lots and lots of game development there. I mean, we talked about that with the Polish game developers. Poland is, and Scandinavia, Sweden, another very big epicenter of games that wasn't there 15 years ago, but Asia. China specifically, but China and South Korea, those are the new Silicon Valley for games. And that's going to only increase. It's not going to decrease.
No, yeah,
And
yeah,
Satvet also said that people with the industry, one of the number one things about whether they get a job or whether they don't get a job, if they're looking for work, is being flexible about where you want to live and how you want to work. He said, there is opportunity, but it may be that you want to stay in the industry, that if you want to stay in the industry, being open to going to some of these places like China, like Japan, not forever, but for some amount of time, that's going to become a larger part of the equation. He has also said that never before in the industry has it been more lucrative, or at least such a high chance for success of starting your own studio and doing small games, because now AAA games are not the number one creator of income in the video game industry anymore. It is small to medium sized games, high quality, small to medium sized AA, single A publishers that are coming out with massive, massive successes. And when you're talking about a small studio, you don't have to, especially if it's not publicly owned, you don't have to make billions of dollars on your
yes,
game. You can make $1 million, 2 million, and you have a massive hit. And you can pay your people very well because you've done such a good job and because you've sold so much, that it now is, for many of these people that have lost their job, never been a higher likelihood of financial success and more beneficial. And I should say never been a better time to start your own studio and make your own game with a core group of people that probably got fired right along with you.
yeah,
So,
agreed.
which gives me hope for North America. Because yes, we have seen the most, by and large, in California, we have seen the demise of AAA studio hiring in our area, in our state, and in North America. But that means that there are a lot of people with very high skill sets and lots of experience who are in a position to start their own small games. And it may be that the AAA studios of tomorrow are in China, are in Japan, are in Poland, but the small studios are going to be here. This might not be the
Maybe.
next gold rush. If we can get the investors in to see this, when you put that many people with that much skill out of work, you have 10,000, not even monkeys, you have 10,000, You have a billion programmers in front of a billion typewriters. A lot of them are going to be writing Shakespeare. There's a lot of hits out there ready to be made. They're just not going to be Tomb Raider. They're not going to be Call of Duty. But they might be Silksong.
I disagree that there'll be a new gold rush. I think there are a lot of other financial issues with the country and the economy that
True.
prevent a lot of that
Absolutely.
prevent that gold rush from happening, that prevent people from creating new studios to do that.
Absolutely true. And
I
I
think
think
there's
in the
just
Bay Area specifically, because if
absolutely
you don't
nothing.
have a job, you cannot afford to live here for very long, living on your savings.
No, if you got fired in California, move out of California.
And
Like,
here's the thing: if you
absolutely.
get fired and you move out of California, you will never be able to come back. Even if you sell your house, you will never be able
Oh,
to
you
come
mean
back
like financially?
because you will never
move
be
back.
able to afford the house you just sold.
But like that's the point, right? Is like you kind of need the spread. There needs to be a new epicenter of gaming in, I don't know, Nevada or Utah or something, right? Someone create a studio out in the desert.
Mm-hmm. This
Uh,
is one of those times when a state or even a city could incentivize the game industry, and it would move out of. I mean, Austin actually is probably somewhere that actually stands to benefit. That
yeah,
stands to be the
I know they're
next,
doing a lot of yeah.
right?
But yeah, I think the reason that you see a lot of newer studios coming up in these other countries is it's just cheaper to make
It's
games there.
cheaper, right?
The
Because it's
inflate
cheaper to live.
yeah, the cost of living is much lower, and so that means you pay your employees less, and that means overall the game costs less to make. Like
Mhm.
it's as simple as that. And after so many years of inflation, the United States has just become a very difficult place to invest in. And I think you see this with NetEase had a deal with an American studio to create a AAA game, and they closed that studio before they even shipped a game because they're just like, you know what? It's not worth it investing in this American studio. It's too much money. We're going to pull out. We can just invest in new studios back home in China
Yep.
for way less
Yep.
and get more bang for a buck.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think
Absolutely.
there's a lot of movement. It's like energy. Jobs are never lost or destroyed. They're just moved.
Yeah, and in this case, the industry is not falling apart. The industry is not dying.
I
It
mean,
just seems that way from our point of view.
it is for us,
Mhm.
right? It
Especially
is,
us in Bay Area.
yeah, it is for EA. It is
Mhm.
for Take-Two.
Mhm.
Like it is for
Absolutely.
all these American-based publishers.
And
They are,
Activision and
yeah,
everywhere else, and
Xbox,
Bethesda,
Microsoft.
Xbox. Yeah, Microsoft is, if ever a company was in a bad place for the future of the industry, that's Microsoft.
I feel like Microsoft has made a couple, in theory, risky bets that have paid off very well short term with their heavy investment in AI and their really aggressive pushing of Game Pass. But I don't know how well those will work out long term, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple years.
Mm-mm. And it kind of flies in the face with what Pete Hines is saying, is that maybe one of the reasons why they are not really worried about the content producers is because they know that the content producers in this country are marked for death. It's just a matter of time before their jobs don't exist anymore. Their studios don't exist because it's all going to go over to Asia, and they can pick up games and put them on Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, they
Doesn't
could,
matter where they're
right?
from. They could put all the Chinese games in the world on that. They don't
Yeah,
care where they come from.
yeah. They don't have to be
They could move.
Microsoft developed games. They don't even have to be in-house developed games.
They could move Bethesda to China.
AC Wraith. This is a quote from Joe Bob Briggs. If an infinite number of rednecks fired an infinite number of shotguns at an infinite number of road signs, they'd eventually recreate the complete works of Shakespeare in Braille.
That is genius, and I am going to use it. So yeah, it was a really, really, really interesting podcast, and I highly recommend if you are not familiar with it. I am absolutely going to be watching this, subscribing to this show. It's you can find it on thegamebusiness.com. That was where it was reported, but the podcast is called The Game Business, and it was their Tuesday news show. So, and it's a, like us, it's a video cast, and I watched it and was very, very impressed at the information and the really in-depth discussions that they were having about the industry itself. Because, I've always cared about the industry. I care about it a little bit more in the last year and a half, but I have always been, even in 2008, when I was with Hawks doing the show, I was interested in the industry. The industry fascinated me as much as the games themselves. So, Corey Wallace says, I think the citizens of Fallout would revolt if they moved Bethesda to China. You know what? The peasants are revolting. You said it. They stink. All right. So, next item.
I guess speaking of China, Silksong is getting very poor reviews in China because of a really bad translation.
Localization. It's important.
People are saying that the Chinese localization is, let's see, it reads like a quote. This is from localization expert Loic Van Kooten. Silksong's evocative but concise writing, at least Hollow Knight's evocative but concise writing, has been turned into high school drama club's Elizabethan improv night. He has an example of what this would read. This is what the Chinese translation sounds like if it had been in English, right? So this is what you're getting. Quote, with nary a spirit nor thought shall thou persist, bereft of mortal will, unbent, unswayed, with no lament nor tearful cry, only sorrow's dirge to herald thine eternal woe. Born of gods and of the fathomless abyss, grasping heaven's firmament in thine unworthy palm, shackled to endless dream, tormented by pestilence and shadow, thy heart besieged by phantasmal demons, thou art the chalice of destiny. Verily, thou art the primordial night of hollowness. That is what the Chinese, what that sounds like to us is what the Chinese translation sounds like to Chinese players. And everyone's like, what the fuck is this?
What did you just say? Oh my God.
I honestly have no idea.
Somebody's losing their fucking job. Oh, you know what this reminds me of? Do you remember, who was it that somebody was doing a press conference, and I want to say it was in South Africa, and they hired somebody to do the sign language, and he didn't know how to do sign language. He worked for the government for years, and he didn't know how to do sign language. He was faking it. But it was like this thing that ended up being watched globally. And because everybody in the world watched it, all these people from other countries are like, that's not sign language. He's just
moving his hands.
Yeah, he was faking it the whole time. And it was like complete and utter gibberish is what he was talking. And nobody in South Africa knew, or whoever was in the government, because nobody said anything, or whoever said anything was suppressed. But when it became to a global stage, and here's like this big moment where the entire world is watching. Oh, I think it was when, do you remember what was the really bad variant of COVID when it came out and it started in South Africa? That was over Thanksgiving, and it came out while I was in Iceland.
I'm not gonna remember the name of that.
Yeah, if I said it, that was the one that went around the world and like killed millions in India, where they had bodies piled up. That was the really, really bad variant that came out that really fucked over people. It started in South Africa, and this guy was brought up to do the translation for the president of South Africa. And of course, everybody was watching because it was global news that it's like,
Man,
what did South Africa do?
the
How did South Africa let this variant get out into the world when they were the ones that had it first? And of course, they brought this guy up and he's doing it. And the jig was up
and people watching that
instantly.
going, oh, that's how you let it get out of control.
Yeah, exactly. And it was just an absolutely embarrassing for the president of South Africa because, of course, he'd had this guy on the payroll for years and years and years who didn't
How
know
do you not
how.
realize that? Because anyone he's translating for, there must be someone who's deaf nearby that needs the translation.
Right. And who might actually make a phone call and that phone call goes nowhere because people in the government don't, who knows? Who knows? But when everybody in North America said, what the fuck? It was hard to ignore that. It essentially was a main line directly to the South African government and was yet another huge embarrassment for the country that had just let out that variant that killed people. Anyway, that reminds me of sort of what happened here.
Yes,
is that they had somebody on the payroll doing the Chinese localization who doesn't speak Chinese very well.
No, it's less an issue, but that they don't speak Chinese, and more what a lot of people have said is it's a fanfic writer. That's what they've compared it to.
Oh, someone decided to put his own little twist.
Someone who's just like, I know how to speak Chinese, like someone who's translated, but who's like, I'm going to put my spin on it.
Right. We need to spruce this up.
Yeah.
We need to make this interesting. I am going to show you what a poet I am.
Yeah. And unfortunately, their poetry is just confusing.
Right.
One of the Steam reviews mentioned that it's not just the pretentious pseudo-artistic nonsense. The phrasing and even the localization of place names are an absolute mess. It affected the game's world building and storytelling, forcing me to guess at character relationships and plot points.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm sorry. It wasn't the variant. It was the Mandela Memorial, the Nelson Mandela Memorial. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, 2013. That's way pre-COVID.
Yeah. He said, Corey Wallace said, that's some Romeo and Juliet shit right there. It is. Somebody thought, you know what? They're going to think this is brilliant.
Although, you know what? Like, the truth is, as someone who read a lot of Shakespeare in college, Shakespeare, readable. Like, if you take the time and you read it, you're like, oh, I know
that's
what
why
this
they
is
teach
saying.
it. That's why they teach it in high school, because it is readable.
I like reading that paragraph. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about.
You're no Shakespeare, sir. You are no Shakespeare, Chinese or otherwise. Well, somebody.
So I thought that was a fun story.
Yeah. I kind of want to do an interview with that guy and say, so what were you thinking? And how long did it take before they fired you? And is anybody ever going to give you another job again? Are you going to do that again? Are you going to write a book? All right, my last item.
Okay, I have another fun item, but I don't have a banner for it.
Okay, well, you can talk about it and I'll make the banner. So Activision announced at a certain point fairly recently that with Call of Duty Black Ops 7, that they were going to have this feature called the carry forward feature, which allowed you to take the skins and weapons and stuff from Black Ops 6 and carry it forward to Black Ops 7.
Why is that not bad? Why is that a bad thing?
Well, it got universal pretty much hate, and for very good reason, and for the reason that you and I cited about Call of Duty when we played. So, let me get to where it was. Where is it? Where did I put it? Oh, okay. So, fan reaction overwhelmingly negative, and the reason is because that the aesthetic from Black Ops 6 is more Fortnite than Call of Duty. and you would be carrying more of this Fortnite bullshit that they're not crazy about into Black Ops 7, which has should and does have a completely different aesthetic. Let's see. I'm reading out BG 24/7. Over the course of Black Ops 6's lifespan, Activision continued to deviate from the original art style and look of the game by introducing more crossover and cartoony skins, which have practically turned it into Fortnite. And that was what people said was like, okay, you started Black Ops 6 and you turned it into fucking Fortnite. And now we have Black Ops 7, and now you're going to let us carry over fucking Fortnite into 7? You need to remember what you have strayed so far off of the beaten path of where of its original vision of what made Call of Duty great. You have turned it into Fortnite. Call of Duty was its own thing. It looked its own way. It had a sense of what it was, and you've tried to turn it into Fortnite. We do not want this. And it was almost universally negatively received, the thought that they could bring their Fortnite-esque skins or cartoon skins into Black Ops 7. So here was they announced they're not doing it anymore. They have canceled that feature off of Black Ops 7.
I feel like this is why we can't have nice things.
No, I disagree.
Because Call of Duty is a yearly franchise. You telling me you really don't want your purchases in one game to carry forward? You don't want to live in a world where DLC for a game can carry forward?
No. That's not what they're saying.
Isn't that actually a good thing? If you had your skins carry forward into the next game?
It is, except that apparently the problems that we had when we played Call of Duty with the crossover cartoony skins and all of that Fortnite-y stuff that was like, I mean,
but like
this is not the Call of Duty I remember. Call of Duty I remember was like
look,
a serious shooter,
honestly,
and now I
though,
see people running around with like giant like smiley face heads and hitting me with cartoon sledgehammers.
Like
Anyway.
yes, but that's what it is now. You want to know why Call of Duty?
No, that's the thing, is they didn't want it. Users, Call of Duty fans did not want that, and they saw it.
Or is it just the vocal minority of online bullshit?
No, some of you said we've drifted what made Call of Duty unique in the first place. Immersive, intense, visceral, and in many ways grounded. That feedback hits home, and we take it seriously. We hear you. So they have canceled it. Now, they canceled it for Black Ops 7. They have not canceled it for Warzone, which is kind of in that Fortnite-y kind of
true. It is free to play, and
free to play.
You make your money on skins. I would expect
a
lighter
tone. A much lighter tone is Warzone. But Call of Duty was supposed to be gritty and immersive. And when you looked at the aesthetic of stuff that is already been revealed for Black Ops 7, those carryover skins don't fit with the aesthetic of Black Ops 7.
But isn't that the point of the skins, is that they don't fit the aesthetic? Like, I don't buy a Beavis and Butthead skin in Call of Duty and expect it to fit the aesthetic. I buy it because I want to stand out.
I didn't like it. You didn't like it. And I am now very pleased to learn that a lot of the Call of Duty community also didn't like it.
Here's the thing. It's not that I didn't like it. It's that I found it funny. I found it funny that the, super serious Modern Warfare had kind of become Fortnite-ified. But the thing is, like, that's what happened.
Look,
they did it.
It was fun.
It
was fun. Maybe it was fun for a while, but that's not what they wanted from the Call of Duty franchise. They thought it was a departure, but the fact that it was going to carry over, they were like, look, that's not Call of Duty. I get it. You want to have some fun, crossover fun at the end of, the lifetime of 6. That's fine. Can we please get back to Call of Duty? Because that's not Call of Duty. This is Call of Duty.
Okay.
Please don't get your peanut butter on my chocolate.
To specify my hesitance to give that a fair that opinion like a fair shake is because so much of that sounds like the typical gaming gatekeeping bullshit that we've heard decades of, like, no, it needs to be a serious game. This needs to be a serious game. Like this idea of, oh, the casualness of Fortnite is corrupting my pure hardcore gaming experience. That rhetoric is something that we've heard plenty of in the aughts, in the 90s. This casual versus hardcore, mobile gaming versus console gaming versus PC
I
gaming.
don't.
It feeds into all of that of, I don't want Fortnite in my serious Call of Duty, except that Fortnite is bigger than Call of Duty. Like,
Right.
I'm sorry, but
They
that's
were
the truth.
chasing an aesthetic and abandoning the aesthetic that people that were their fans had signed up for and were used to.
But Black Ops 6 sold a lot. So how many people were really put
Okay.
off by the aesthetic?
Imagine if Ferrari decided one day to put out a car, the next Ferrari, the new
Mhm.
Ferrari, that looked like a Volkswagen Bug.
Okay.
I think Ferrari fans would have a problem with that
What if they
because
sold
Ferrari is
what if they
Ferrari
sold
and
more?
Volkswagen Bug, right? Because hey,
What if
Volkswagen
they
Bug sells
sold
way more Ferraris than way more cars than Ferrari.
if
So we're gonna make
Ferrari
a Volkswagen Bug looking
Yes.
Ferrari.
Ferrari makes a bug-looking Ferrari
You're
and they
being a
sell
hypocrite.
more. And they
You are
sell
being
more.
an absolute hypocrite because how many times have you complained about games being like style jumpers? Like somebody gets something that's a hot thing and then everybody just follows it mindlessly. We're going to turn whatever we have into whatever this hot thing now.
Yes.
That's how
Yes.
we got
And
that.
like, yes, there is clearly Call of Duty chasing Fortnite. Look, I don't think there's any winners here
No,
because I think that a
I
lot of the
disagree.
people complaining, I wonder how many of the people complaining are just a very, very vocal minority on Twitter who have access to the developers, who are the hardcore gamers complaining about this casualization of their hardcore franchise.
Dude,
And
dude, this
how
is
many
Activision.
people how many actual casual players who like buy Call of Duty each year, who are the ones who actually push that game into the stratosphere sales wise, how many of them actually care about this?
I think that if it were a small minority, Activision is quite used to taking crap from its player base.
Mhm.
It knows the difference between a small vocal minority and near universal negative reaction to an announcement of a new feature. I give them credit for recognizing that maybe this is not what our community wants and not just slavishly continuing to chase the Fortnite carrot down into the rabbit hole and alienate their hardcore base that have made it a top selling title for years and years and years and years and years.
Which then makes me wonder, like,
And it's not like these
how many
casual
of those
players aren't
skins
don't have something
sold?
available. Warzone is still available to them. It's not like they're saying we want everything to
Yeah.
be old Call of Duty, but we want our main titles to be Call of Duty. If you want to make something else that's more casual, cool, go do that. But do not turn our hardcore game that we love because it's hardcore into a casual game because Fortnite makes more money.
Okay, I will also just say though, if you are making a multiplayer experience and you cater that experience to your hardest core players, you will destroy your experience. You cannot,
I think you're making assumptions.
and granted, when I say that, I'm talking more about balance changes.
Right.
Like Overwatch, a lot of hardcore pro Overwatch players complained that the time to kill was too long. So Blizzard went in, tweaked a lot of stuff to make the time to kill a lot faster. That appeased a lot of the pro players, but that angered a lot of casual players, a lot of
Right.
the average players, because now the class differentiation didn't really matter because everyone's just shooting each other in the head anyways, because that's what the pro players do. I'm taking that type of balance change philosophy and saying, is this the aesthetic stylized version of that. Of we want to appeal to the hardcore pro players at the expense of the casual average player.
Mhm.
Is this
I
that same thing but with style instead of balance?
I would say that might be, except that Activision is smarter than that. It knows that there are more casual players than there are pro players.
Yes.
Number 1. Number 2 is I'm a casual player and I was off put by the Fortniteization of Call of Duty. In fact, that's why I don't want to play Call of Duty. I was repulsed by it. And it made me want to play Battlefield so much more. Like when I played Battlefield after playing Call of Duty for the first time in years, it was like, oh, thank God. A realistic shooter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A realistic war shooter. That's what I wanted. I did not want, you know, rubber mallets being carried around by what was it? Who was it? Like the girl in the red dress. What was it?
Oh, Anna de Armas from Ballerina?
Yes. Yeah, I didn't want an Anna Darmuth crossover person hitting me with a mallet. It's fine.
I don't
I
remember.
mean, if
her
that's
name either.
and I thought that that's what people wanted because that's what was in the game. And it's very, very it warms my heart as a casual Call of Duty player to know that that is not the case, that actually they agree with me, that the Fortniteization was fun, but they kind of want to keep it realistic shooter the way that I like my shooters to be. So that was, it made me feel good. It made me feel seen because it's like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
not the only one. I'm not the old person who's saying, you're changing my Call of Duty. It's like, I wasn't the only one. I was one of the many and not the few.
I don't know. I still feel like you're all old people complaining about
Okay, go
not
play
my Call
Fortnite.
of Duty.
Go play Fortnite then.
I'm not gonna play Fortnite either, because I'm the real rebel. I'm the outlier playing Wu Chang and Hollow Knight.
All right.
Like
So
a
when
rebel.
when they put a Doja Cat skin in Wu Chang, let's talk.
You say that as a joke, but let's be honest, that would fit.
Probably would.
Get
Okay.
that's
Oscar Mayer
not that
wiener.
far off. That's like no mustard meat ketchup. They go together.
Corey Wallace, speaking like a true hardcore gamer, says people are going to bitch about games no matter what. Just suck it up, grab your fun bag, and play the fucking game or get the fuck out.
Yep. AC Wraith says then you don't have a fun bag yet.
You need
Gotta
to use the mask.
Get the fun bag. And Koi says, yeah, let's face it, they're bitching now, but come 11/14/25, they'll spend the $70 for their Activision VIX. VIX. I mean, yeah, people will buy the game no matter what. That's the thing, is that they may complain.
Fix.
Fix, yeah. They will buy the game, and let's be honest, in a year, there's a solid chance that Doja Cat will appear in Call of Duty Black Ops 7, because at that point, the only people still around are like, fuck it.
And
give
that
them the weird shit.
That absolutely makes sense. That makes sense. But to bring over their 6 stuff into 7 and like start off 7 at that level of stupidity, I can see it.
See, I feel like Activision is just going like, we won, because they can make this big show about we're listening to the fans. We're giving you the realistic, gritty Call of Duty that you've always wanted. And then in a year, after they get all those people to give them their money, they're like, oh, hey, guess what? Here's a Doja Cat skin. Here's an Anna Darma skin. Here's Beavis and Butthead. Now you have to buy them again.
Yep.
Oh, we were going to let you carry over these skins, but you rejected it. Now you got to give us this $20 again.
There is no reason why they can't have carryover happen in a year when they start doing their crossover promotional.
Yes, there is, because at that point people will have forgotten about it, and you can charge them an extra $20.
No, you can just say, all right, we're doing carryover. If you want to bring your silly Call of Duty skins over from 6 to 7, now you can do it. Oh, and here's a bunch of other silly.
But why do that when you can make them buy it again? slight graphical upgrades.
Well, if they weren't going to do that before, if they were going to do this now, they'll be okay with doing it in the future.
But they can charge you. They can double dip. They can get you to buy the same thing twice.
No, they obviously want.
You cut out. You cut out. Cut. Sound gone. Cannot hear you. Anyways, I think I had one more story. Yes, I did have one more story. Okay. Let's see. Did Edie get through all of hers? She got through most of them. I told you didn't want to go long. Okay, well, I have one more story. No, not Edie. I wanted this. Okay, so Ubisoft famously took the crew offline. That started the whole Stop Killing Games initiative. Well, now there's a free mod for PC version of game. Well, I guess not now. It's going to release on September 15th. But the mod was emulate a server, so it will let players trick the game into thinking that the official Ubisoft servers are still up. You can get that fake server running on your own PC, which would essentially be an offline mode. Deserve a prize for not braining this fucker. This is the shit I have to deal with. Goddamn. I mean, she says this, but let's be honest. These audio issues, every week, gotta deal with these audio issues. Either, oh, my headset doesn't work. Oh, my internet doesn't work. Oh, I sound like a robot. Oh, I'm chopping in and out. Oh, I'm communicating through banners because my headset died. Like, come on. We all know who the issue is here. But yeah, basically people made the crew playable offline. It's not technically offline. It's just faking an online signal, but it's all within the closed loop of your own computer, so you don't actually have to go online for it. And that's really cool. And she's still, instead of ending the show, something. But yeah, that's cool. I'm glad that someone has been able to do that. Modders will keep things going forever. Modders are the real archivists of the gaming world. And now we can end the show, but really, I don't even know, because she can't hear me. How does she know that we can end the show if she can't hear me? This is like a catch-22 situation where the show will just keep going and going and going because she doesn't know that it's ready to end. We can end anytime. But she doesn't know that. So, okay, I guess let's just keep talking. It doesn't have to talk about the crew. Actually, let me get rid of that banner because it's a bit of a misnomer to have that up. Oh yeah, no, take that off. Yeah. Let's see. What else did it? Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Okay, we can end the show, but I guess I'll just keep talking about how much I want the show to end, and let's see how long it takes Edie to actually, I don't know, read my lips enough to realize that's what I'm saying. Or, I don't know, how do we communicate to Edie that we should end the show? Like, you can't just say, yeah, we're waiting on you, Edie. You have to end the show. I mean, I guess I could just bail. I could just leave you to, to the silence that is Edie. Come on. She's not even looking at the screen. She's looking down. She can't see me. Nick is struggling to sing the alphabet song. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And she's still not looking at the screen. She can't see. Yes, for fuck's sake. So who won? We all lost. There are no winners here. Oh, who won the giveaway? Mr. Maynard won the swag bag, and Coy Wallace won the extra mask. And I do believe that Coy is planning to get the swag bag using the mask. Am I right about that? Yes! Jesus Christ! Edie is still struggling to realize that she has to end the show. Again, like I think this highlights communication, right? It's good for people to communicate with each other. You take away the one method of communication, if you have to say, let's close this out first. Okay, let's close this out. Okay, I think I've said it now. Oh, there we go. Oh, and apparently she wants me to do the outro too. Okay, let's see. I need to get the banners up. Standard and game banners. Yeah, you can subscribe. Go to patreon.com/GameHounds to subscribe to our Patreon. $1 a month is all we ask, and that helps us keep the show running at the very professional level that you can clearly see. We are pros at this. We are good. We do not let anything like an audio issue, like a broken mic, we're not letting that shit get in the way. We are going to continue this podcast, come hell or high water or broken mics. We're on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I know on YouTube we are the GameHounds Vids. No, we're GameHounds Vids on YouTube. On Twitch, we are the GameHounds. And on Facebook, I honestly don't remember. I never go to Facebook. iTunes Podcast, we are there. Where is the Discord? Discord. There, join our Discord. That's where you could have joined to do the swag bag, but you can still talk to the community. Look at uneatable or weird grocery store food from Ezio Helsing. Coy Wallace, this has been GameHounds episode 792. This is not your host, Edie Sellers. With her husband, Nick DeNicola. Like, subscribe, Patreon. Thank you for doing the job for me. Any updates on Patreon or all updates on Discord? All updates come through Discord. I don't think we've updated the Patreon in a while. Like, if you want to know when we're doing a show, if you want to know when we're going live or when we're doing a Twitch stream or anything, that's all through Discord. We're waiting. So who won? Let's see. Headsets suck. Headsets suck. Lose a mic and lose ears at the same time. I know. Lose everything. Yes, the PAX West developer interviews can be found on Libsyn. They can be found on the iTunes feed. And like really the GameHounds feed. You'll also get all of our interviews from PAX. That's it. Thank you for joining us today. Like and subscribe, smash that follow button. Join us every Sunday at 2 p.m. Western. Obviously, Eden didn't win. She lost the sound. Yep, I'm the winner. Right here. Number one, this guy. Or voice. Night all. Have a good night.